We the best, no contest. My clique is the best. We the best. There ain't no one like cause of you dumb or you crazy. There's no way, G. Me and my clique, we handling biz while you and your clique just act fugazi. You couldn't persuade me to give a damn and this don't faze me. I got my Xbox, she can't play me. Money in the text box, I get paid. We the best. We the best. No contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best. No contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best. There ain't no rest. For the wicked, I'm bad and I'm blessed. Put it to the test. For the rest, there ain't no contest. So what's next? Got me leveling up, I'm obsessed. I bring the fire like I'm possessed. My personnel and my clique is the best. There ain't no contest. There ain't no one like cause of you dumb or you crazy. There's no way, G. Me and my clique, we handling biz while you and your clique just act fugazi. You couldn't persuade me to give a damn and this don't faze me. I got my Xbox, she can't play me. Money in the text box, I get paid. We the best. We the best, best. We the best, best. No contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best, best. We the best, best. No contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best, best. We the best, best. No contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best, best. We the best, best. No contest. My clique is the best. We the best. We the best, no contest. We the best, no contest. We the best, no contest. We the best,
You know I'm
killing it, they're hurt, I'm the one feeling it. Now they're feeling it. My enemy's fake, I'm just stealing it. Slipping on the sauce and you're messing with the boss.
no one's gonna be sorry for your loss.
calipers.
Keep it to your
You
lies.
say you won't cry
And I guarantee you will.
when the bullet from a gun
Fucking penetrates your eye.
Phil Spencer is the sniper, laughing as you die.
Fake gaming, wannabe gamer, pretend gamer, think you got comedic skills when your comedy is a little bit lacking status. But still, so until you motherfuckers come at me with some shit, talking about some shit, understand that I got more games than you.
Holding the line until the target's aligned.
These pussies are just fully clapped, the content is so benign. Set fire to the whole stable.
He's on the round table, wearing shoes with no label.
Inbred pig's got no hair on their head. The cost of the lies that they spread in the wake of Xbox. Spending billions, not just little millies, like an Aaron, their Achilles, the sorcerer, but like 1,000 chilies. Consolidation is causing elation, except in the PlayStation nation. Force rectal irrigation of these bitches, busting all the stitches. You don't have the riches, leave these portals in the fucking ditches. Celebrate, we're gonna have a party. Dance on the corpse of Colin Moriarty. Choke off the Saudis, Habibis get rowdy. Circumcise the bitch so we can all scream howdy.
When you make that kind of content, that very adversarial, you're not one of the weird like gremlins making fucking 20-minute videos about me. That alienates and isolates you from people and burns bridges.
Pour one out for the FTC and your MBGs and all my enemies. My name is Septic, yes, I'm a disease, and you're the one infected. Your leader has now been selected.
When you're authentic, that's why your product is successful.
When you're authentic, that's why your product is successful. When you're authentic, that's why your product is successful. When you're authentic, that's why your product is successful.
Oh shit, ladies and gentlemen. We made it. We made it. Always late, but never cancelled. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me.
And Wandering Dutch in this great show. Oh, just play the tunes, blood. Play the tunes.
Yeah. We have a great show for you today. Tell me you guys can hear me. Tell me. I can't see the sound levels going up. I know I can scroll down. Yes, I can.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Something Sauce. It feels like a very long time since I was here live, even though it was last week. But time is blurry right now. The fasting has got me looking and feeling delirious. But I'm having my first coffee after 2 weeks. That means I'm not going to sleep for the whole day. And I needed to take it just for you guys. I'm weaning off coffee this blessed month. But I thought, you know what? Nah. I'm going to need it. I need that energy to take the piss out of pisser, bruv. And we're going to talk so much shit. And joining me is a long-time friend of mine. But, you know, he hasn't actually been on this show because this channel's been trying to get... Well, it's been a bit of a shit show trying to organize my life. But he's here. He's joined us several times on Game on Daily, and now the beginning of many appearances on Septic Sauce. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wandering Dutch.
Welcome. How you doing? It's been a while, guys. It's been a while.
It has been too long. How have you been, sir?
I've been good. I've also been, getting my life in order. So
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen you. You've been making some games. You're a lot more muscular than I saw you at Gamescom a couple of years ago. And I was like, damn, he's at that stage. You've been touching grass, like serious to grass, climbing mountains and shit. It looks really good, man. Be honest with me. Do you get danked before you go on the mountains? Do you a little dank?
Nah, just get danked on the mountain.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Just take some shrooms and just get lit, huh? I see how it is. Duh! There's some THC in that pen. Yeah, oh, this is good, man. It's good to have you back, man. It's good to see you. I know you were like everyone goes through their times. You've been quite open about like some of the stuff that your struggles. Yeah. And how are you faring? Being more on the serious side of things, is it better now?
Yeah. I'm faring well. To be fair, it's just obviously for those in this chat, etc. It is ADHD and autism, so obviously my basically my moods and things like that, and my hyperness can vary. Some days I'm flat as a pancake, the next time I'm like through the roof, and I'll just be all over the place, which is why in the past you'll have seen us do like 3, 4, 5, 6 podcasts in like the space of a couple of days, because I've got like unbelievable amounts of energy.
Yeah.
And then other times I'm just like off radar.
Yeah, no, that must be hard to man regulate. So you don't know what day what you're gonna feel like on a given day.
Exactly. And everything's different. And unlike normal people, like who can drink caffeine and it spikes them up, caffeine does the opposite to my brain. So if I drink a coffee, I can literally have a coffee and go to sleep. Like it does nothing.
That's weird, bro. That's crazy. You can't even control it. That's the sad part about that. Because that's tough, man. That's tough. But the physical activities, the training, the testosterone and shit is it making you take control. Oh, but you get a little bit more horny and just have to get a couple of hoes and it helps you.
Yeah. Climb mountains and go to the gym. That kind of sort of semi-regulates it. At least it tires us out a little bit, because otherwise I'm just awake all of the time. Like living on like 2 hours.
Oh man, shit. Okay, well, I'm glad you're doing better, man. And it takes a lot to open up about that stuff. And you're not one of those like little vaginal people that just go out there. I'm feeling a little. I know you, man, and it was surprising to see that coming from you. I'm like, oh, Dutch is feeling that, bruv. He looks like freaking a Viking, bruv. So a Viking opening up with feelings is like, that's not estrogen shit, bro. That's he's going through some things. Yeah. So it's a bit of an eye opener. And I mean that when I say that, I kind of take my blessings when I see stuff like that, because I'm mentally retarded, but I'm happy for it. So I'm kind of grateful for that. But at the same time, I take stock of the fact that there's a lot going on. And yeah, it takes a lot. It's really good that you open up so other people can kind of, because I've seen your threads and I've seen people talk about it, and it's alien to me. But I'm not a prick as much as you guys think I am. I tried to look, maybe a little bit, blaster, little bit, but just trying to understand. Like, okay, well, all right, well, that sounds tough, but at the same time, you're soldiering through and taking control, and that's really good, man. It's good to have you back. Did it instantly start when Xbox went third party, by the way?
Oh yeah, just got the tism as soon as that happened.
That happened to a lot of Xbox guys. And then on the other side of things, the PlayStation guys have definitely displayed their tisms, as you say. They're just going mental, but then they're still looking like absolute melts, which is great for me. We've got Speaking King 17 with the €6 super chat goes PlayStation better. Thank you for that, King 17 with the €6 for that. And then Shabs comes back with a £2 and a gold membership. He says Commodore 64 better. I've never tried Commodore 64. That was just before my time, bro. I'm not that old, bro. Maybe it was around that time, but I was in Pakistan, bro. We were back in time back then. So we're a good few years behind everyone else. Shit. Okay. So, before we do, this is a bit like the Game On Daily. Like, I haven't changed the structure of it at all. I should revise it, but now that I have to control everything and it's going so well, and talk, I'm limited in all the things I could do and try and make sure that everything is working. I just want to say, shout out to 100 people already in the chat. It's good to see you all. Let me just give a little shout out before we talk about stuff. We got Seawolf Swim. Have I seen you before? Neil Goshwa. I don't recognize these two names. YJT, Churro Bear, Dion78. Good to see you. Magnum, Serenity, Slim Pickens, of course. Shabs, of course, always supported us. Always. Xbox and Mike. Moazim Beg. Good. Why is Dutch audio too weak? I have upgraded Dutch. So, Moisenberg, if he still sounds low, tell me, but he shouldn't. Paul AFC. Good to see you, man. Xbox Tester MVP. And I think I've got everyone covered. No, just James, I see you in there. Pete Arcadia. Oh, yeah. Good to see you, bro. I haven't seen you before. Konstantinos Pascal and the Game Adaptation Network. Good to see you. Oh, I see more chat. Sorry, I was scrolling up. Zach Riley, Hopper, the General C. How you doing? Good old General, mate. Southpaw, Big Al in Philly, BT Maverick, of course, and everyone else soon to join us. Thank you. Thank you. Hit the like button. Yeah, I didn't say that last time. What have you been doing? Let's talk about it. What have you been playing, Dutch? You're a man of great taste, exquisite taste. Nice. The wall behind you speaks volumes. You've got a lot of Xbox characters. You've got Kratos, and you've got the Kratos freaking, what's it called, axe. You're a pony. You've got Final Fantasy running there in the background on your PlayStation. I can see. Is that 16?
Yeah. Rebirth.
Okay. Oh shit. And you got, bro, your setup is looking saucy. I've just noticed the controllers you've actually, is that on the wall or?
Yeah, floating on the wall. Yeah.
That looks sexy. I like it. You see, your kind of setup is the kind of setup I would want, as opposed to having loads of little toys everywhere, which is, well, not having a go everyone, but I've seen like loads of people there and they've got loads of little amiibos and shit. I'm like, bruv, that's a bit weird, bruv. But I'm not hardly one to talk. What have you been playing, Dutch?
Yeah, to be fair, I've been playing quite a lot of games recently. I've been, again, I'm always a mixture between indie games and regular games. And of course, one thing, I haven't been on here in quite some time, so there's probably quite a lot of games that I have been playing that I haven't spoke about. So, of course, I've played and finished Space Marine 2. I've played and finished Indiana Jones. I've been playing Split Fiction tonight. First time playing it for like several hours, and that's great fun. But I absolutely love Joseph Fares's work. Like, all of his games have been fantastic, and I love the one thing he does as well is the fact that you don't have to buy 2 copies for 2 people to play.
Amazing.
You buy 1 copy and get the friend pass, and then they can play with you. Like, nobody else does it, and I think he just sets a precedent of being able to play with your friends and not having to fork out like double the money to do it.
He's such a G, man. You did a little interview and he was talking about, now we don't put this loot box shit in our games, and we get basically buy one get one free is basically what you get with Split Fiction, and he delivered an incredible game. And he's just a nice guy about the whole thing. And you know, this is such a rare thing to have, and everyone's like, the industry is really tough right now, we need to squeeze. And then this guy just builds great games, gives basically half of it away for free, and gets the accolades like Game of the Year, which is, you said this, I think a couple of days ago, or maybe yesterday, you were saying that, if GTA 6 comes out, it's going to be tough for us to win Game of the Year. But yeah, Split Fiction, I've bought it day one, but I think I'm going to play with the missus. It's just one of those special games that is just, I'm just kind of like not looking at the gameplay, because the mechanics are so much fun.
I did the same. I didn't look at anything. I seen the reviews were good. I didn't read any of them.
Dutch is low? Okay.
And that was it.
Okay.
I didn't read any of it. Apparently, I'm still low.
I can put you up. Keep talking.
Up my volume.
Yeah.
But no, Split Fiction's absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love what he does, what Joseph Fares does. He's always, like you say, It Takes Two was one of my massive surprise hits from last gen. So, was absolutely looking forward to this. As soon a no-brainer to buy it.
Okay.
As outside of that, played and finished Avowed. I'm almost kind of done full 1000G on that. I've got a couple more that I've got to mop up on a second playthrough, but not too many left.
Okay.
Sniper Elite Resistance. Played a bit of that. Played a bit of Ninja Gaiden 2. What else have I been playing through? God, there's so much since I last spoke to you. And also been playing. This is an entirely different one, by the way. It's a game from when I was young, and I didn't realize they'd brought out a remake of it. It was a PC game called Little Big Adventure. It was like there's a remake of it on Xbox, by the way. I had no idea it existed.
Little Big Adventure.
It came out in December, this remake, and I had no idea it existed. So.
Oh no, I think it's something else.
Yeah,
what the hell is this? This is the PC DOS days.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's old.
Yeah.
But I was browsing through the marketplace and I seen Little Big Adventure demo. I was like, demo? When's this coming out? And then I searched the store and it was already out in December. I was like, nobody mentioned this.
Yeah, for a good reason, bruv. I should be bringing this up on screen actually, where we talk about games. Sorry, chat. Trying to multitask.
Don't worry.
Little Big Adventure.
It's not one that everyone's going to love, by the way. It's definitely a nostalgia game.
Yeah.
Put it that way. It's like a proper old school game. This,
Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourself for Game of the Year. Someone's gonna clip this because, oh yes, you like indies, but you make fun of the way games look. I'm like,
the original. That is the original.
Shout out to
Look at that.
Al 89 Retro Gaming.
That is retro.
That is retro. Look at that, bruv. Jeez. So that's what you've been playing.
Not that version, but yeah, the remake.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I don't even know what is on screen, but save. Okay. You play quite a lot of games. You're quite similar to me. I'm actually really enjoying gaming right now, but the problem is things are very busy at work. Because stamp duty, land tax changes are happening at the end of this month, which no one gives a shit about. But it's mad at the moment and works crazy. But what I've been doing is, so this rule that BG from Weapon Wheel always talks about is playing one game and just finishing, and everyone's like that. And I get it. Rand makes fun of me. He's like, why are you playing it? But right now, I'm on PC now. I'm a PC Master Race guy. I know it hurts. Everyone's like, it's so convenient when Xbox threw the hat shot off. I'm enjoying it so much. I got a 3080 and it's not even a 5090 and it's beautiful. It just shits on all the consoles and I'm playing all these games and the only thing I miss is Quick Resume, because Quick Resume was literally a feature built for someone with ADHD like me, bruv. I would just jump in, out, jump in, and it was amazing. And I miss that so much on PC, and I'll hope that comes out one day. But I've been playing Indiana Jones is massive, and I'm still playing that. And I play one mission, like I'll do one sit through, do one mission. It's a big game, and I'm like, how big is this game? And it's beautiful, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm doing a chapter. It's like an episode of watching a TV series. Then I'll jump on and I'll play another game. I'll be playing Fragpunk a lot. Fragpunk is amazing. I'm actually going to be working on 2 videos, chat. You might say, guys, you're always saying that, but you never get the videos. Because it takes time, because I do the editing, yeah? I want to make it look good. But Fragpunk is such a good game. It's not out on consoles yet, because they, very last minute, wanted to kind of just announce that they're going to delay the console versions until it's ready and focus on PC first. Now, I don't know how this will even work on console, because this is like Valorant. The game is literally like the same kind of like aiming stuff. You know, like with Counter-Strike and Valorant, where you have that kind of precise one shot thing. This is like that. And I've got both installed, and I spent God knows how much on bloody Valorant skins, and I've already started spending money on Fragpunk and the skins there. But the game, for me, is really good. So much so that I think that the actual shooting mechanics of that game are superior to me, or more fun, I should say, than Valorant. Maybe Valorant is a lot more like pro-friendly, like that's geared towards more pro players. But I feel like this game does not take itself as seriously, but it's so much more fun. It's got a card system where basically before every round, teams can pick one of 3 or all 3 cards, and the cards are random and varied. Like you can have big heads. If everyone picks it, you'll have big heads on the enemy team. You can have tiny heads for your team. You can have samurai swords, and it makes it more fun. And it's got so many different mechanics. Like one brilliant mechanic is one that I really love is if both teams get 3 scores each, because it's the first to 4, then you have a face-off of the 2 teams, and you have to pick which place you want to go. So it's like 5 versus 5, and everyone's watching then the teams just do sudden death, going 1 versus 1. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. And the feedback loop is good. The gameplay is really good. The gunplay is really like fantastic. That right from the get-go, because you know season 1 cosmetics on things like this on these games are all shit. But this game, it throws so much shit at you, which they have to, because they know that for a live service game, this is the mistake that a lot of live service games make. They don't have the content to back up a live service. This is such a basic thing, but it's the pitfall that even murked Naughty Dog to the point where they weren't even ready with factions to accommodate that kind of content. And then you had like obviously massive failures like Concord, you just failed anyway. This game is just really good. I'm gonna make a video on it. I don't know if I'm gonna do just Fragpunk or Fragpunk versus Valorant, but I can't wait to talk about it. It's going to be it's a really good game. So do check it out. Do you play on PC, Dutch?
I do play on PC occasionally. I'm going to be building a new PC for next gen instead of console.
Oh, okay.
I've got a 3070 at the minute.
That's decent, man.
One quad below you. But my processor's shit, so I'm just going to build up a brand new PC from scratch. Probably going to go for a 5070 Ti.
Okay.
And a Ryzen is instead of Intel this time, because I've got Intel at the minute, and it's a lot of different issues and things with it. So
yeah, the new AMD, what is it, 97 something, blah blah blah. Yeah. That was really good. And I might actually get the this has been a confusing mess. Well, I'm actually happy with my 38. It's just doing a really good job, but I do want to get the bells and whistles. But the thing is, the AMD threw a complete spanner in the works here by surprising us with their cards, the N9700 XT, and that looks like a really good raw, mid-range card. I do feel like I am a proponent of, on the PC space, just going for the top range stuff. But 5090s have been a problem. The stock is just impossible. You can't get hold of them. They've recalled in in Europe because they just set fire apparently, and it's just absolute shit show. But at the same time, you've got options. So it's a really good space in the PC space right now, man. It's really nice. PCs picking up massively, hugely, like breaking milestones. Today we found out Steam hit another all-time peak record, and Counter-Strike hit a peak record of players as well. They had 40.48 million all-time concurrent players, or something crazy number and shit. So that's where the source is at. The industry is moving towards those PC memes. Rabbi Henriksen and Ranting Greek Gamer. Good to see you, Ranting. I hope you're good, man. So yeah, man. Bro, every time the general I see his name, he goes, time to get Hunt Shadow down on PC. I might join you, bruv, because I played it on Xbox. I really enjoyed it, but it was definitely a game that felt better, geared towards keyboard and mouse. But yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, so we've been making some memes. So lots of games that we're playing. Bro, and I've been jumping on single player as well. One of them is Death Stranding 2, which is incredible. Sorry, Death Stranding 1, not 2. I'm not Hideo Kojima. Been playing that game early. We'll talk about that in a sec.
I've got it on Xbox as well, to be fair. I've got it on PlayStation. Well, actually, I've got it on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC now.
Same.
But no, Death Stranding's one of those ones where you get over the first hurdle, which is the opening hour or two, where you're just literally delivering parcels.
Yeah.
After you've got over that, it opens up. You start again where you've got your blood bombs, and you start getting your weapons, and you start getting a lot more things, a little bit more interactive, and you get your first boss fight at the end of the first kind of opening area.
Yeah.
Starts getting interesting then. If people can get past that opening sequence, I mean, the music's fantastic, the graphics fantastic, the story's weird as shit, but it's great.
Yeah.
As soon as you got over that, no, it is a really good game. Definitely looking forward to it. The second one looks like it's more action packed, so I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what that's all about, because it definitely looks like, I mean, submachine guns and everything from the get go on that thing. So
yeah. That's a good point about it. We might as well actually jump into the Death Stranding too. I was actually going to take the pisser, but it's got some more ponies come in, so I can just take the piss out there. Failed purchase. But no, Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding 1 is the trailer for Death Stranding 2 was so incredible. I just went, because I take my time with my single player games, and I went back and I played that and played Death Stranding 1, and I was at the point where for ages I didn't know what was going on. There's this character, there's an actor. Every time you when you go into your rest station to shower and stuff, and there's always a CGI. Oh, there's always a cutscene of this guy through BB's perspective, and this guy talking.
Mads Mikkelsen.
That's it. What's his name? Mads
Mikkelsen.
Mikkelsen, yeah. Him. He's a really incredible actor, and he's always there. I'm like, why are you showing me this? This game doesn't make any sense anyway. I'm carrying an embryo in my freaking stomach. But what is going on? Like, what is this? And then, after watching the Death Stranding 2 trailer, I was like, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to play this. I have to play it. And play anywhere, save anywhere, bullshit. That thing is crazy. It's beautiful. PlayStation guys, you guys trying to downplay it. You guys are absolute, utter, basic bitch shegs. Because you should be celebrating. Well, you don't even like games going to PlayStation. While you're celebrating Xbox games going to PlayStation. PC's enjoying the definitive edition. I'm gonna have this ultra wide. I'm playing this game. Took a while to get used to the controls. Not that long. And then I got sucked into it straight away. It's just the music, the vibe. And I jumped in. I just happened to be in the boss fight with whoever, Mike Mickelson. And it was so weird. And it's amazing. And it's just like, what? You don't get a game like this. This guy definitely takes shrooms up the ass.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he loves acid.
Yeah, there's no way he doesn't. I know. I just like someone needs to ask him that. But what we got last week was such an incredible trailer, which I'm going to have playing right now. But basically, this trailer was 10 minutes long, and it had everyone talking about it because it's just so damn good. The graphics in this game are incredible. Now, look at it. It's on screen right now, and the game just looks amazing. I don't know who this actor is, but he's got my nose, which is interesting.
Have you watched The Old Guard on Netflix?
No, I haven't seen that.
Ah, right. He plays one of the lead characters in the Netflix film The Old Guard, which is really good. Actually, watch it.
Okay.
You'll enjoy it. But that's where he's got in from. So he's actually, he's a big actor, but he's French. I think he's a French actor. But he's always got big stars in his games. He knows everybody.
He does. He really does know everyone. He's got a massive cast of incredible actors in this game, and I think maybe later on you'll see. Well, first of all, Decima Engine is just incredible. Like, it's just so good, which is why I want to see a new Killzone, which we might do. Actually, I need to talk. That's another topic when you talk about. I saw your comment on it. It was the first thing. I was going to comment on it. He's already commented on it. Actually, I couldn't. You replied to a guy called Shinobi, and he's blocked me. So, basically, we'll talk about that in a sec. But this game just looks so incredible. I saw, obviously, the console warriors saying, oh, this looks better than Death Stranding. Hellblade 2. And I'm like, I will give it more credit because it's not a glorified tech demo in many ways. It's so much. Look, this scene, bruh. That looks incredible. When I saw that, I was like, bro, that looks like the mountains of Balochistan, bruv. Look at it, man. That looks crazy. It just looks so real. The mountains look so nice. The backdrop is amazing. Look at the how much distance there. It just looks nice. It looks beautiful. This scene was like, I was just like, what? This is the shot I think everyone looked at. It was like, whoa, that looks amazing. That kind of scale. And this you little shits who are watching that, Erica and your Nick Marseille's like, graphics when I was talking about Ghost of Yotai looking like a PS4 game. This is the kind of game I want to see, lad. Oh, sorry, I've got this. Wait, no, this. No, not black screen. Put the gameplay back on. That's it, this. And there's so much confusion with this freaking trailer, man, because you've got basically some reference.
If you've never played the first game, all of this will be confusing as shit.
I played the first game, and it's all confusing as shit as well, but I haven't completed it. That's the difference. But oh shit, why are we talking? Bloody Shaps is just giving away Death Stranding on PC code, the definitive edition of the game. Shout out to him. Don't let me send with the name of the game. Oh, he's got what the hell is he talking about? But shout.
If he puts the entire name of the game, it won't let him send it, so he put DSDC.
DSDC PC. Shout out to Shaz. That's very nice of you. Someone who ever got that code, just let us know, man. And smash the like button, bruv. Look at this game. This game just looks beautiful, man. I don't mind saying, okay, this looks. I don't know. The characters, like on a head-to-head level, Hellblade still shocked me. And the absolute the density of it and just how amazing it looked. But this is this game trumps it because it has good gameplay, and a lot of people make fun of it because there's a delivery simulator, this and that, but there's a lot more gameplay mechanics here. I'm sorry, you can't really compare the two, and they're taking it further. He's on the freaking water thing, a lot of the continuity of carrying bodies and stuff and delivery stuff, but it's just a vibe. It's just, for ages, me and Asa wrote this off because we went there, queued up for over like an hour and a half just to look at a convention to watch this game, and everyone walked off out of it because it was like, this is so boring. Because obviously you couldn't play it. It's one of those EGX shows, and we were
Yeah.
like, what is it? It looks shit. And I wrote it off for ages. And then when I saw the Death Stranding 2 trailer, I thought, and I saw someone called Ranton, who really kind of maybe says, you need to play it to really understand it. And I get it now. It's such a vibe. And this game is just mental, absolutely mental. So this is going to be a game that's coming out in June. It's coming out in June, I think.
June, yeah, 26th of June, yeah.
26th of June.
A week after my birthday, so.
Oh, shit.
So I'll be playing it day one.
Yeah.
It looks like I say the first one. It's a little bit slow on the get go, but then after you start getting a little bit more weaponry and grenades and bombs and things like that, and you can start fighting back. It gets interesting. And of course then you've got your vehicles, you get your bikes and things like that, and your cars, and you can actually deliveries aren't so much a difficulty anymore. Then you start trying to do more things, take more people on. Yeah. But like you said though, the music and the vibe and things like that, like some certain areas where you just literally walk into the next destination and the soundtrack kicks in perfectly with and then it zooms out, so you get kind of a grandiose picture of the scenery and everything. I'm
so
like,
good.
This is a vibe.
It is. It's just like you'd love it with your hiking. You must feel like you're playing Death Stranding every time you go hiking.
Every time I put photos on X, that's all I get.
Yeah.
That's in real life.
Yeah. It goes to show how much when you touch grass, when every time a little bit someone goes out in nature, it's like Death Stranding. But it does feel like that, and the game just looks amazing. Like they've got so many different features in this game, like so much weirdness. The puppet makes no sense. You got the hands around their throats. You've got this weird guitarist there, and just like, what the hell is going on with this game? And he'll somehow make it all work together. And the crazy part is, and you'll see this later in the trailer, is that there seems to be a real homage to Metal Gear Solid and Solid Snake, and then the Metal Gear head. It's just, I'm just saying that. Wait, this is already confusing enough. What? Did he get the rights for Metal Gear? What is he doing? And this is like, and why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? I think it feels like, to me, yeah. Okay, you may be thinking, okay, I'm going to just put this character in there, put maybe a bandana on, and boom, that's it. And have this robot shaped like Metal Gear on this, wherever the creatures are. But to me, that suggests that, you know what? He still has affinity with that baby of his. And perhaps maybe he wants to revisit it, because he's also working on another game, which is the PlayStation exclusive that he's got. I forgot the name of it. Xbox gets OD.
Xbox gets OD. They get something else as well.
Yeah, but that sounds like Metal Gear. So I don't know. Maybe he wants. And then the kiss. I don't know what the story is at. I'm like, wait, well, why are they kissing? And I saw the motion capture of them doing it. I was like, oh shit, you lucky Norman Reedus, bruv. If you're married, your wife must be freaking pissed. I always found that weird, isn't it, in Hollywood, when they always get their shit down together. It must. Everyone's like, oh no, we're just acting as professionalism. But chicks are chicks, bruv. I'm gonna say that, bruv. Guys are guys as well, bruv. I'll be like, bruv, you're not doing that shit. You must be joking, bruv. I'm not letting you do that shit.
Have a really, really, really secure partner to get it to do that, like.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, I ain't letting no one lips my things, bro. You must be joking, bro. Especially if it's like Norman Reedus or Leonardo DiCaprio or whoever the hell it is, bro. I'm like, you must be on crack, bro. Gonna get me perpetually insecure after that, kiss. Something like that. Yeah, man, this game just looks amazing. It's just, I think, prime Kojima. Yeah, I think you'll see here. Yeah, the Metal Gear thing. It's just like weird, man. It's just so cool. Visually, it's amazing. You got a fat 10-minute trailer. There's so many. I saw someone post, I think it was Alex posted, saying like only Kojima can do a 10-minute trailer and still people have no idea what the hell's going on. And that's so true, because it's like, bruh, I don't know what's going on. I'm still playing the first game. And I'm really excited about playing this game. And it doesn't feel like I've had spoilers there. And this is right here on screen is where everyone got confused. Here it is. Snake. There he is. He puts a bandana on. He knows exactly what he's doing. And all this, even the color composition just changes, darker colors. And it's just like, bruh, and then I think just a few seconds later they're gonna show the Metal Gear.
Metal Gear Rex.
Yeah, BT. Where is it? It's gonna
It's
come.
like just after this, isn't it?
I think it's just after this, isn't it? Like, it just comes up, and it's just so cool. I still don't know what's happening with these dead soldiers things, because that's the bit I just did, and that's Death Stranding 1, where you're in World War One all of a sudden, and that guy's got these soldiers. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm enjoying it massively. He's got a VR headset in now. I don't know what the hell's going on. None of it makes sense, but it's just great. It's just like this is there it is, that Metal Gear thing. Wait, is that political commentator? Oh, I don't know. Was it John O'Brien? Not Conan O'Brien. What's his name? What is that? What's going on? I don't get it. Shout out to Jackson.
Yeah, he's got his dukes up there. He's ready to fight.
Yeah, bro. It's just, yeah. It doesn't make sense. And even the collector's edition looks sick. It's just a great game. And yeah, I'm gonna wait for the PC version because I'm not gonna play the basic. Why is the feed crush the colors now? I don't get it. Oh shit, I've got some shit going up on my screen as well. Yeah, so that was Death Stranding 2. We got Jackson82 with the $5 super chat. I give Death Stranding another try. Got bored before the first playthrough, having to walk up mountains. Got my bike and my weapons. There is a good story. That's what everyone says. Like, you have to bear with the initial bits as well, because once you get to like chapter 2 and 3, then it becomes really, and you hit the nail on the head there. When you get other tools to make your job easier, so you're not always carrying a tower of freaking on your back like this.
Forever.
Yeah, holding left and right trigger the whole time, just like that. Then it becomes fun because now, okay, I've got a vehicle now. I've got the little tray that I can carry shit on. Then it makes it.
It's always dead nervy as well when as soon as you hear the BT thing kicking off, and you're like, oh no,
yeah,
yeah, no,
then,
just let us get through this part.
It's really nerve-wracking. But that's, the funny thing is, very rarely I get murked by them, but I'm still scared because if you do activate them, you get a lot of time to just run through things because it's a bit slow in getting you, but. They have got me in some points where in tremendous fashion I've slipped because there's an incline. I'm trying to run. The baby's crying. The shit's flying across. And then they grabbed me. Then you get pulled into this other world when it's like, oh my God, I'm in Pony Central now. This all black muck everywhere. It's just tarry. It's weird. And I don't know what's going on. And so that kind of tension is really, really good to get. Kojima's really good at selling tension, and he did that all the way since Metal Gear Solid 1. Metal Gear Solid 1 will go forever in my memory when Meryl was getting sniped by Sniper Wolf in that corridor, and as a kid I was so panicky, man. I was just like, oh, what do I do? And I tried to fight her, and then you have to go back, and I think you have to get some diazepam to steady your aim. You get a rocket to like with the CCTV rocket, and then you kill Sniper Wolf, and it's so nerve-wracking because you go back to get the diazepam, you get tortured at one point, I think, as well. And if you skip the torture scene, which I did because I thought you're not meant to do it, and then my mate told me, oh, you can do it, but because I skipped it, Meryl died. So I was like, no, I'm a bitch. I actually killed an Otacon, the little nerd comes back at the end of the game. But that's years ago. That was PlayStation 1. It had alternate endings with the changing the controller ports for Psychomantis.
You can actually take out Sniper Wolf kind of much earlier. You can kind of take her out and she's not there at all. Like, there's so many different... Yeah. You can just take her out of the game altogether.
I'm today years old that I figured that out.
So many variances that you can do that you snuck in there that you just didn't realize you could do. Like, there's so many different variances that you can change it up with.
He's so good, man. But I think MGS5 is the one where I was like, overrated. Yeah. I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I know a lot of people did though, because all my mates are like, what? It's amazing. It's one of the best games I've ever played. Blah blah blah. And nah, not for me, because the story took a backseat, and I love Kojima for his stories and batshitness. So I really like Death Stranding because it's a mix of everything. The solitude, the music, the little baby thing is really weird because it's like that paternal element of you, and then just the randomness. So it's a really good game. PlayStation, you finally get a good game. Finally, in June, after you're making fun of Xbox not having a barren one. Xbox, you're getting the games, but it's just at the same time you're all getting the games, you lucky bastards. BT Maverick with a 5 goes, hey guys, question for Dutch. Are you doing your indie showcase this year? Love indie games. They're the heart of the industry. Appreciate both of you. Shout out to BT Maverick. Yeah, that's a good question. Your indie showcase.
Yeah, will be, but it's usually April time, but I haven't had a chance to kind of get on top of it yet, so I'm probably going to do it a little bit later in the year this time. But yeah, it usually takes about a month or two to get everything sorted for that.
Yeah, no doubt. That is a massive undertaking. If you've not seen one of Dutch's indie showcases, they're like mini little E3 shows prepared, and just, bro, the format is the last one you did was incredible, man. You had interviews in between, like the people coming in, and if you want to do a collab, we can do it, make it even danker. I can't get me inside, bastard. We'll do some interviews or whatever. We should do it. We should. I want to get settled in and start doing some interviews with indies as well, because I get bombarded with indie emails as well, and there's so many good games. But the indies are on another level now, and nowadays I'm just looking at titles like, this is indie, this is indie, this is indie. I'm just like, this game's looking better than AAA games, man. Like, this is where the art is really shining, because the technology is really enabling indies to do stuff beyond just pixel art stuff. Not saying that pixel art's bad, but yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's right. Usually on like the showcases, if you've seen one of them, I usually open with what you would class as kind of the high budget indie games that look like AAA, and you look at it and you're like, it can't be indie.
Yeah, that happened last time on your show. Yeah. We were talking about. Remember, everyone was like, "This indie? What was it?" There was another. There's so many games.
Flight Survival opened the showcase last time, and that looks. It still does look insane. It's like, but this is what indies getting a hold of the likes of Unreal Engine 5 turns into now.
Yes.
If somebody, 1-2 people that have been in the industry that know how to use Unreal can go on their own and do something, that tends to be what you end up getting, is really high quality visuals in an indie title.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's insane. But there's so many, like you say, it's so many variances as well. You get everything from pixel art games. So we had like the Edge of Allegoria, which is hilarious. It's like an adult Pokemon, but it's just a single player RPG, but it's got fuckloads of swearing in it, loads of adult jokes and adult humor all the way through. Like, it is not a kid's game at all. You would look at it and think it would be, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm going to bring it up on screen. This game?
Edge of Allegoria.
It looks like a Pokemon game.
Yeah, but not quite.
Is it not? Is it quite adult game? This is an adult game. Edge of Allegoria. It's on screen right now.
Yeah.
A game for rude Pokemon game for adults. It even says it there. The first bunch of something blur censored. Okay, I get the idea. Oh shit!
One of them has been talking about getting noshed off and like taking drugs and stuff like that. And going to this town. This is,
I'm looking at the screen, bro. Yeah. It's jokes. What the hell? Shit. Okay, so that's about your typical kind of thing. But there was I just added on my wish list. It was a
Blight Survival was the one that looks insane.
Which one?
Blight Survival.
Blight Survival. Let me put it up now. Let's have a look at this. Oh my days, yeah. This is it really indie? Oh bloody IGN! Piss off with your stupid watermark. You just take the video, upload it, and then just put your watermark there like you're a bunch of shags. But is this really an indie game?
Yep.
Are you sure, bruv?
100%. Bruv.
This does not look like an indie game, bruv. Is this the one where you get in the medieval section, you get cars and shit?
No.
There's one.
I know one you're thinking of. That one looks hilarious.
Yeah, that looks jokes. You're telling me this is an indie game?
This is an indie game, yeah.
Shut up, man.
Mhm.
What is an indie game? Like, how many man team is this? Like, what are you classifying as indie? Because this,
indie is literally just a completely independent studio that is not under anybody's wing.
But how many man's in this indie studio? Because see, this is a very good point about the definition of indie and what that means now. If you're
This is
independent,
what, to be fair, the indie developers can be very antsy about it as well, because some of them aren't bothered. As you know, like a lot of the indie developers just aren't bothered. They just want to make good games and things like that. But then you get some indie developers that are really bothered about what is indie. Indie to them is 1 or 2 people creating a game, and indie could be 10 people creating a game, whereas indie could be technically up to like 20 people creating a game, but they're completely independently funded.
Yeah.
So it varies. Indie can be theoretically anything up to like 50 people in a studio, but they're completely independently published, independently developed, and maybe even crowdfunded in order to get the funding together. Or they get things like Epic mega grants from Unreal. Every now and again, Epic will give mega grants out, which will give like £1 million to somebody to help develop the game.
Oh, right. Okay.
So there's lots of things out like that for indie developers. And then sometimes they'll team up with like a Devolver, who obviously help publish loads of games for indies. So yeah, it's mad. But yeah, completely independent, that one.
Yeah, but there's loads of indie games that you'll see that you need to watch. This is Tenet the Spark, and this game just wishlisted this now on Steam. Again, I think this is another AA or indie title, and look at the diversity of this is like just look at it.
The backstory to this. The backstory to this is he made the developer for Tenet the Spark made like an animation for, I think it was a competition, and then the animation was taken to so well that he decided to make it into a game.
Really, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But look at the art style. Look at the like you were seeing stuff here, like the way the cloth moves on the character, which is amazing. Like, the cloth is so static in so many AAA games, and then this is like moving around, and in this real time, it's just switching between different environments. It's just amazing. Like you're getting such like diversity in just visual and gameplay styles. Like this would be something like we would be raving about last gen. I mean, if a AAA did that. So like just like so much, just great titles. But yeah, man. Deliver X, did Gaz go full PC like Doc? Yes, I did. And if you have a brain, you will too. Yeah. You can play on console. And someone's gonna cry, Gaz, you're such an elitist now. I'm not. I'm just telling you. That's where the source is at. Especially when you have shit like Pisser. Now let me just let's talk about. We talked about indies there, but I'll timestamp that manually later. It was a good chat about indie stuff. It's always really good because just that's the kind of stuff that I want to do in the future, like more of, like predominantly indie stuff. Because if you look at like YouTube channels talk about indie games, they're just talking about games. It's a bit silly just waiting for months. I know we're drowning in games right at the moment, even AAA games. But the indie games where you have a lot of fun, like the multiplayer games or the kind of stuff that I like, the creative side of things.
You have to look at the like Collateral, which has just smashed everything.
I've banned myself from playing that. I'm not playing that anymore. Collateral is just gonna just crack. They should be illegal. It really should be illegal. But yeah, Pisser. Let's talk about Pisser. So I don't know if you saw this shit. So basically, the PlayStation 5 Pro has had a bit of a sketchy start, to say the least, yeah? It's a bit shit, innit? And I know I got the little satellite here ready to, like, with there's 17 oscillating chins ready to clip this, so bloody clip it, blood. I'm going to tell you about taking the piss out of this piece of shit console that you guys paid 700 quid for and has done nothing for you. And then they have an interview coming out from Mark Cerny saying, oh yeah, Pisser, you know that thing that we talked about? Get out of here. And people are like, oh, I upset so many people in the stables this week as I was taking the piss out of what is obviously, if you cut through the marketing fluff, it's an admission of fault or failure by Sony, in my opinion, of the shortcomings of this pisser tech in favor of FSR 4. And then people are like, oh no, guys, you didn't read it. It says it's an evolution of it. I'm like, you mugs, man. You guys are talking about this FSR for ages. They were like talking pisser, PSSR, so good. PlayStation upscale, Super Resolution upscale, whatever the hell it is. We're so excited and nothing happens. And Digital Foundry that has been rinsing the PS5 Pro for its piss of tech and just other failings as well. And it's right now. So last week they reported that you know the sales they're tracking behind the PS4 Pro, which I think is a big part. Let's be honest, due to the price of the thing, it's very expensive. Just market forces at the moment. But at the same time, let's be honest with right, like the Xbox One X, and I didn't even get the mid-gen consoles because, believe it or not, like you guys say, I'm grifting. I was PC at the same time the mid-gen consoles came out, because then I was in a very similar position now. Like, consoles have let me down. These are just shit. I'm not playing PUBG on these crappy consoles. I'm on PC. So that's where I was, and I didn't even get an Xbox One X. But the Xbox One X, even I recognized, was an incredible mid-gen console ahead of its time, and it had that moment then was a bit unique because it had a 4K was really coming up to the fore. Like, this is everyone wanted 4K. PS4 Pro was a shitter version of. It was much worse than the Xbox One X. Xbox One X was doing a lot of great stuff, and right now the PS5 Pro has nowhere near the same critical reception as the Xbox One X at all. It just doesn't have that. And so you even had Mark Cerny come out and do a little flopflation. He even coined the term flopflation. He's talking about why, people, he did that talk because a lot of people were upset. And then granted, he actually did this thing with Digital Foundry, which the hardcore stables mock for whatever reason because they don't like the reporting of Digital Foundry or are selective in picking and choosing what they say. But remarkably, overall, they've not been that excited. One of them even calls the PS5.
Guys, your audio's gone.
My audio's gone.
Your audio just cut out halfway through your sentence.
Oh no! I think we should be good. We should be Be good. Can you hear me? I think my internet might have murked itself there. But yeah, if you can hear me, chat, let me know. But yeah, so I was going to say it was Tom, I think, from Digital Foundry saying it's one of the most disappointing bits of hardware he's reviewed in years. Then you've got Mark Cerny has come out. And then Mark Cerny did this thing talking about FSR 4 is the next evolution of PSSR, and everyone fell for it. Oh no, it's still...
I can't hear you then.
You can't hear me?
What is going on here?
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you. On Discord, I can't hear you.
Oh.
I can't hear you on Discord.
That's weird because my thing is flashing and...
But I can hear you. I have to have the YouTube on to hear you.
Oh, wow, that's weird. I think that's on your end, bro. I haven't even touched anything this time. And there's a very minimal, there's a 1 second delay. So you can... It's going to be one of those things like on BBC, goes, and over to you. And there's a little pause in it. And there's like, and over to you. And you're like... Yeah, so, no, you're right, Ange, or whatever your name is. So it's going to be one of those things. So keep your YouTube on. There'll be a little delay, and it'll be fine. But what was I going to say? Yeah, so now they've come out. Mark Cerny reaching out to Digital Foundry, which I respect, because it's a... So for all the PlayStation guys, you out there... Is it better now?
I had to mute you and unmute you. I don't know why it did that.
Discord is so weird. Discord is like that. So what was I going to say? Just freaking ruined the flow. What was I saying? Yeah, so this is what I was saying. Yeah, so they were saying Mark Cerny did an interview with Digital Foundry, and they were talking about and it's very similar to how Xbox actually handed over the Series X to Digital Foundry, because they respect that these guys are the masters in their field. So I defer to Digital Foundry's knowledge on it because they're very knowledgeable. This is what they do. This is their bread and butter. And Sony had this interview with Digital Foundry because of that stuff, despite the fact that the PlayStation stables will malign Digital Foundry, opt to listen to some randos, and then selectively pick things about them, like I do. The negative part, I'll put it in your faces. Forget the positives, bruv. I'm going to put the negatives in you, because you guys are just bare barking like Nibbles with this 50 paragraphs. He's just such a lying shit, man. If you were so honest, you would have at least put it up there. I mean, just one line, yeah, it's a little bit shit, but it's incredible. And I'm just like, nah. And this is what he says, Mr. Cerny goes, the neural network and training recipe in FSR 4's upscaler are the first results of amethyst collaboration. So they're working together with AMD. And that's really good. And that's really, like, it's gonna pay dividends to the PlayStation 5 Pro in the future. The results are excellent. It's a more advanced approach that can exceed the crispness of PSSR. They're talking about it separately. This whole marketing spiel about people falling about an evolution is basically trying to launder a replacement. Whether or not you guys want to believe it or not, whatever. They can style it out. They can internally rename it so it is deemed as an evolution of Pisser, but the reality is very different. And the thing with this is, they're going to now, it's going to take some time to see the new technology migrate across to the PlayStation 5 Pro. Our focus for 2025 is working with developers to integrate Pisser into their titles, which they're struggling. And in parallel, we have started to implement the new neural network of the PS5 Pro, basically replace the bloody bastard, to have something similar to FSR's 4's upscaler on the PS5 Pro in 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, it has happened.
They're waiting for the tools. You're waiting for the tools.
So you paid 700 quid for this thing that's got shit. Final Fantasy looks nice, but so many other titles look absolutely wank. Go and clip it, you little bastards. And but in 2026, it'll be good. And I guess that's okay. But for me, I don't know what you think about this. I just think, lol, just jump on PC. This is bollocks. But the only time the PS5 Pro will be remotely attractive to me is GTA 6. If it runs 60 on GTA 6, so you said, okay, you know what? Now is the time to buy a PS5 Pro. Otherwise, I don't give a shit about this. Absolutely, just dry. And I'm not just being a bot by saying this. I'm just telling you, just so. It's like the same as last gen, like, but worse. Like, at least the Xbox One X was doing shit. Like, this was a 4K machine. This is a competent machine. It was impressing everyone. This one is just a lukewarm £700. But at £700, you start to work into PC territory. Yeah, you can't build a PC at £700, but that kind of money, you're like, well, I can now put that away and invest it into a PC. Granted, you're not gonna get a full PC for it. Try and build a PC for £700. That's not what we're freaking saying, blood. But at £700. Invest into a GPU and start future-proofing your shit so you can enjoy the dankness. It is what it is. What do you think? Sorry, I'm such a prick of a host. I just went on a rant here. What do you think? What do you touch about this shit?
For me, with a PS5 Pro, because of course I've got the regular PS5 here, but with the PS5 Pro, it was never going to be viable for me. I didn't see the benefit of it. The main thing they were touting was PSSR.
Yeah.
When PSSR was announced anyway, the one key thing that stood out to me, and the one thing I mentioned on pretty much any time they were talking about it, was it's all well and good having this technology, but who outside of PlayStation are going to utilize it, with it being PSSR? You've already got FSR. On PC, you've got DLSS. You've got Intel XeSS. You've got a multitude of variances on upscaling technologies that are available across the board that developers already have. So are they going to use, if FSR is already available on console, are they going to use FSR, or are they going to use PSSR when they're doing multiple, especially for multi-plat games and your third-party games? Are they going to use PSSR? They're just going to say, we'll just use FSR for any upscaling technology because everybody has it and it's easier to implement.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend any more time or money on it and just get it done. Secondarily, it's their own version of hardware upscaling. Great as an initial, but if they're just saying, oh, we're going to replace it with FSR 4, then it kind of just admits that this PSSR was kind of like FSR 3.5. It was kind of a middle ground between FSR 3 and FSR 4. So again, why would developers wait and use PSSR when, okay, if you're saying that FSR 4 is going to come to console next year, then we'll just wait for FSR 4 and then at least we can use that.
Yeah, but that's what's going to happen. Pisser is dead. They're going to just like launder it through. Now everyone's going to be like, oh no, it's the same thing. It's an evolution of it. But they literally speak expressly about the FSR 4's upscalers. And they're just merging the two. So you could, in that sense, you could argue, okay, you know what? Okay, fine, it is, but it's still, you can argue it's pisser, but just like reworked with the benefits of FSR 4. And so that's what they're holding on to. But the reality is, look, the console came out. It's been how many months? Pisser's been shit. You've got Mark Cerny coming out talking about flopflation, all this bollocks. The whole of 2025, they're just going to, he says it themselves, I'll focus on working with developers to integrate Pisser, but in the meantime, they're going to migrate over to the next bit of tech. So what does that mean for you in 2025 as a PS5 Pro owner? It's just going to be like, you're going to be, in this transition period where people try to wean off it. You're going to say, oh, it's not weaning off it, it's part of the evolution of it. Well, then we need to see the results quick. But so far, that's my point. So far, the PS5 Pro has just been meh, with the exception of a couple of titles. And really, even then, it's funny to see the console players really like tout PS5 Pro like they want to be PC gamers. It's like you're talking like you're barking properly on the spec level like you're a PC gamer. Because if you're barking at that level, you should be the first one to invest into PC. But so it's just like, I'm just like looking at that, and I think your analogy is correct. Like, seems like no one's gonna, whatever. The idea of you'll see Pisser even through PlayStation disappear. Maybe they'll opt to call it something else, but they talk about their neural network and training recipe that will basically morph into something else.
I think that my ultimate thing is if both, whether this Xbox does it on the next console or not, if both of them have hardware upscaling as opposed to software upscaling, like the original FSRs were. FSR 1, 2, 3 was software based as opposed to hardware based. Great. We'd rather have that DLSS, which proves why hardware based upscaling is significantly better than software based, and it always has been. So having that and having a variant of it like PSSR, which was hardware based for the first time on console, great. I'd like to see both consoles do that. But if you're just going to say, okay, well, yeah, this is our own thing, and then later on down the line, oh, we've been working with AMD, and actually it's just the next stage is FSR 4. Yeah, so just use FSR 4 then.
Yeah.
So
I think that.
So ultimately, and then it begs the question of, okay, when PS6 comes out, is it still going to be PSSR, or is it just going to be FSR 4.5 or whatever the variant of it is?
Or whatever.
Point, yeah.
I think that's what it will be. I don't think that. I think reference to Pisser will disappear.
But they're working with them, and that's great. But I think ultimately, it's just hardware-based upscaling coming to console for the first time, and it's the problem with PlayStation specifically for me was that the main issue is that they just don't have the game outlay in order to kind of show what this could do theoretically, because the roadmap's been dry. Nobody can say it hasn't been on PlayStation, and I mean
People
that
can,
from a first
yeah.
party perspective.
Yeah.
From first party, we've got Ghost of Your Tie coming out this year, great. We've got Death Stranding 2 coming out on there from a second party, which is good. Should be PS4 Pro enhanced.
Definitely.
So we can see what that kind of adds to it. Ghost of Your Tie will be exactly the same, but if you have a look at kind of the back catalogue, and we even saw with the likes of Days Gone's like new version that really doesn't look all too dissimilar from the previous one.
It looks the same, man.
I'm like, okay, like what's that? And again, it's just game outlay. Like if we always shouted at when you've got something coming out, whether it be a mid-gen refresh, whether it be a new console, whatever it is, if you don't have the games to showcase it, then how are you going to what you going to do? And we've always had a go at Xbox for doing exactly the same thing, because Xbox launched the generation with no games.
Yeah. yeah.
They've had that problem before. PlayStation didn't, but they had loads of cross-gen games, even though they touted them as current gen only.
Yeah.
And it's just this dry pipeline is my issue with the PS5 Pro, is because it isn't a justifiable console, nor is it a justifiable price.
Yeah.
For what it's bringing. It isn't. The PSSR is not a good enough reason to spend an additional $200-300 on top of a regular console.
Yeah.
It's not.
I don't think so. Yeah, I mean that's the point. It's just a combination of all those things. And if you want to listen to Digital Foundry, and if you want to listen to common sense, then and you're happy with the and okay, some people are happy with it, but people have to also acknowledge the people who are like Solid Rev, for instance. You got a Pro, and it's like, what's the difference? I can't tell. I'm switching between the two. It's like, it's not a big difference. The graph will tell me, then I'll see it. And then a lot of people sold it back, and you know, it's just a combination of lack of competition in the space, which makes them a little bit lackadaisical. They don't have to worry about it. There's no mid-gen to contend with. But at the same time, I will say I will give Mark Cerny props for doing this. I like the fact that he did this with Digital Foundry and was quite upfront with them, and it shows we have to give respect to Mark Cerny here, that he is still intent on resolving the issue instead of like, because PlayStation doesn't need to, they'll still sell PlayStations. Xbox is just kind of like doing whatever the hell it's doing with no one knows, kind of walking away, or for now anyway, and you know, they could just market it as the best console version of all games coming out on consoles, and that will be fine. But I will give him respect for, because Mark Cerny does take a lot of pride in his work, and you have to give him his flowers, because even though Xbox with its on paper specs with the Series X should have been absolutely dominating the PS5, it didn't even do that. So the PS5 Pro is a little bit extra. Again, on its own merits, it's not exactly going to shake up the world, but you know, some of the ultra hardcore pretend that they're happy. Nick was like, but it is what it is. It will improve. I think if anyone deserves the benefit of the doubt, though, I think it's Mark Cerny. I think in 2026, the PS5 Pro, or closer as we get into 2026, no matter how, depending on how long this transition period takes, the PS5 Pro will end up being a decent machine. He deserves the benefit of the doubt for that. At the same time, I will say a lot of bullshit was also spouted about the SSDs and the magical SSDs that was coming out of Mark Cerny's mouth as well. So that kind of balances it out. Like, I don't want him to be seen as a wizard as well. So I'm like, whatever. The reality is, if you want the bells and whistles, I don't know why you'd devote so much energy on that front as a console gamer. Ultimately, you'll get the best experience of console games on the PlayStation 5 Pro, just by virtue of the fact that it's the only mid-gen console out there. So there's that. Yeah. But don't expect game-changing experiences. The problem
I've got with that is there is no guarantee that the games will always play best on PS5 Pro either, if it hasn't been implemented for PSSR. So there's no guarantees that the differences are going to be that grandiose. I think looking at some of them, like series, I think, is it not Assassin's Creed, the new one that's coming out? They've all got relatively the same resolutions on the PS5, PS5 Pro, and Xbox Series X.
Yeah, I also saw another game like that, which is, and
they've all got the same options. They've all got 30, 40, 60. And I'm like, okay, so what? so it's like, yeah, you're just straining to see, oh yeah, there's a little bit of fidelity and perf there. I'm like, right. Why don't you want to play on PC again? Ultimately, and this is where Digital Foundry, I love what they do, but then at the same time, we always have to kind of have a joke about it as well, because you're not zooming in 500-600% to see these differences, and you're not going to notice a 1-2 frame drop. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, no, absolutely, you're not.
So, like, the differences are minuscule in some cases, and then all I want to see in 2026 from PS5 Pro is any games that they have coming out that are first party justify the difference between PS5 and PS5 Pro in itself, right? Okay, well, why is this one so much better than this one? Why do you need PS5 Pro?
Absolutely, that's a great point, actually. That's where the divide should be pronounced. That should be quite stark.
The new ones, specifically the new games that have been specifically developed with these consoles hand in hand, not old games that have been re-enhanced. Yes. You're not really going to see the benefit there. Outside of Final Fantasy, which was relatively blurry in performance mode, and then they've added this version where it looks good in performance mode now. Great, okay, one game. I want to see that with every PlayStation first-party title going forward. I want to see, okay, right, you're releasing a brand new game. On this one, you're saying, okay, well, it can do this, and it can do maybe up to 60, or it can have a 60 mode. But then the PlayStation 5 version is like quality mode at 60, not performance mode at 60.
Yeah.
The kind of differences you want to see. Okay, brill. Now I can enjoy the game in its best visual fidelity and it's at 60 frames. That's the kind of thing you want to see with PSSR.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you won't see that. I want to see that. I really do. I think Death Stranding stands a good chance of have that kind. I know it's second party or whatever, but that would be good. And that one enticed me because it's coming out on PC most likely quite soon.
I also don't believe Take-Two will launch PS5 Pro version at launch.
Or at all, because based on look at Red Dead 2.
Exactly. Their history.
Yeah.
They just don't. They just don't. They'll wait until the next one comes out and then they'll go, look at this, brand new patch, we'll sell it again.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think that's the case as well. Like, but also, and we've done a poll here, and about 56%, it's quite an even split, but 56% of you say that you don't think the PS5 Pro will run at GTA 6 at 60 frames. Which is, it's not bad, but I think before is much skewed. And then you've got Shabs, thank you for the £5 super chat. He goes, the CPU portion of the PS5 Pro will bottleneck GTA 6 for it to run at 60 frames. And that's exactly what Digital Foundry were also of the view of. That CPU is actually going to be taxing. Now, I will be actually very disappointed if the current gen consoles can run GTA 6 at 60. Because I did a video on this channel, which I might even play while we were talking about it, on GTA 6 and the leaks for it. And there's a lot. Bro, I've went into a rabbit hole. I've got the leaked documents, leaked footage, and all of that. And the stuff that they like, if half of it, so a lot of leak stuff. I'm working on a video actually. It's going to do a full breakdown of all the leaks. It's going to take a while to work on, but there's so much going on here on a CPU element. It sounds too good to be true to me. It's just like, how are they going to do all of this on these current gen consoles? The kind of physics stuff is too much. They got masses of AI, so you've got massive crowds you'll see on the GTA 6 trailer. You've got massive scale. You've got a lot of like per object physics based stuff that's supposed to be really crazy. And you don't want to see my face again twice over. That's just stupid. Let me get GTA 5's trailer while I'm doing that. GTA 6 trailer, sorry. They've got so much going on with the AI routines that are supposed to be insane, and you've got a level of fidelity that if you've seen the trailer, it just looks too good. It's just amazing. So if they can pull this off, oh gosh, my streaming PC is struggling.
I've got no doubt Rockstar will pull off the fidelity. I just think it won't be 60 at launch.
I think so too. I think this is going to be a 30 frame. I don't know how the Series S is going to run it. If it runs it like shit, I don't care.
Series S will run it at like 720 on 900.
Yeah, some really shitty resolution. And to me, that's a sign. That's a good sign. Look how much abundance of booty shaking, but abundance of just people and cars and vehicles and AI, and there's so much stuff. There's supposed to be a lot more destructible environments there. There's be weather-based stuff, physics-based stuff, so like a lot of wind-based stuff. There's like deformable like physics on cups that can fold and shit. It's like there's too much. Like there's no game at the moment that is doing fidelity at this level. Even right now, just like this, right now, the NPCs and all the lighting in this is insane. This is the CPU is going to be pushed to another level. If anyone could do it, obviously it's Rockstar, because they spent $1 billion plus on developing this game. But this game is just going to be incredible. I've watched this trailer so many times. I know it like the back of my hand. But it's I'll be surprised. And it's not necessarily a slight on the PS5 Pro. I get a PS5 Pro, but at the same time, to me, that will just hammer the nail in the coffin of waste of a console for me and for a lot of people. But
with a lot of this is the problem. And you mentioned the One X last time in the PS4 Pro, and this is the problem with mid-gen refreshes now. Is what is the thing that you're aiming for outside of you get an extra 10-15 frames? Because that isn't the bigger jump as you think it is.
Like it was last gen.
The last refreshes, you went from 1080p to 4K.
That was massive. That was massive.
It was an actual reason to upgrade, because it went from HD resolution to ultra high definition. That was a big jump in visual quality. You don't have that now with mid-gen refreshers. It isn't the same. It isn't the same need or want. So when you're looking at it, you're like, okay, I get an extra 10, 15 frames. But if I was that bothered about frames, I'd just play on PC. And the vast majority of the crowd, this is why these are like really like pro versions of consoles are niche in the market themselves anyway. Even if you have a look at PS4 Pro's kind of sales amount versus the PS4, like the percentage of people that took the PS4 Pro over the PS4 was minimal at best. It was like 7 to 10% of all PS4s sold were PS4 Pros. That's quite small.
Yeah.
The same with the One X. It was a couple of million out of the 40 odd 50 million that were sold. Like, it's not massive. So it is a super niche market to get it in there anyway for people who want it. So if you're really that bothered about performance, just put it towards something better, like
a PC.
Otherwise, yeah.
Honestly,
exactly. Otherwise, just get it on. Wait for the next console. That's it. Just wait for the next actual evolution of console.
This is why I'm I was going to say this is why I'm actually in favor of Xbox skipping the mid-gen thing. If we've got diminishing returns to this degree, that where you're just straining your eyes, and Digital Foundry, whose bread and butter is doing this stuff, are the ones saying, oh yeah, you can't really tell the difference. That's what they're saying. And they did this, and you can see it on the Digital Foundry clips. Type in DF clips, talk about why, and I think the title is why is the PS5 Pro sales have slowed down. And this is one of the reasons they tout is like, other than the price, is the fact that you're straining to see the difference, you can't really tell. Then you go to PC, because in PC, even on a 3080, you boot up something like Red Dead. Granted, as last gen game, just looks next gen. It will blow your socks off more than anything. GTA even. GTA 5, playing it now. They got the update last week. Me and my friends are playing with the next gen update, and the RTGI tech that they're using is Alex Battaglia was saying that they're going to most likely use that for GTA 6. He did the video, came out today, and that looks really clean on PC. It just runs really nice, and it's just the PC is where it's at when you want that. And it's not like, oh, it's going to be so hard and the driver updates and this and that. Everyone has this like an historic impression of what PC gaming is like. I'm not saying it's perfect. There'll always be issues, but that's if we're talking about all these kind of, if you're watching this show, and a lot of you are like the tech savvy, like, because let's be honest, we're in the ultra small, like crumb side, like nucleus of this whole thing, then, and you really care about performance, then you should be on PC, or invest into PC. That's my advice anyway. But
yeah, well, it's exactly the same reason. Like, this is before even the when they were talking about Xbox potentially doing a mid-gen, and this is before the PS5 Pro launch. And I said, to me, I wouldn't get either, because it isn't like the previous mid-gen, and like we've just said, there is nothing there that will provide a large jump that isn't going to be held back by the ones that are already out, because you can't upgrade the CPU, because then that would give a significant difference over your current console, which would mean you would have to develop essentially for two SKUs. You can't do that with your own console. Xbox have had their own issues with the two SKU problem this gen anyway, because of the configurations that they've got in the Series S to Series X, needing more time to develop on that. So PlayStation's not going to do that. And if you bring a mid-gen refresh out, if you're changing the CPU, you're going to have issues, because if you're boosting that significantly over the current one, you have to develop essentially two entirely different SKU versions.
Yeah.
In the middle of a generation.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that. So any boosts that you got on the GPU side is going to be diminishing returns, because it's always bottlenecked by the CPU.
Yeah.
So a mid-gen refresh this gen for me was never going to be beneficial on anyone's part.
Yeah.
So that's honestly, if you're going to do that, like I say, if you're really, really focused on getting something that wants performance, head over to PC, save up. It's not a rush. You don't have to rush to get it. Slowly build the thing up if you want over time.
Yeah.
Get all your parts step by step. It's the best way of doing it. And then, of course, if not, and you don't want to do that, then just wait for the next official console, not the mid-gen refresh, because they're the only times you're going to see, okay, the next step of this hardware.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think that's where it's at. Unless obviously PlayStation surprises, which they can't because the specs won't change. The CPU is the CPU. But there may be use cases for you hardcore guys. You want the absolute nuts and bolts. You really hate PC gaming. You're just a console gamer, and you want those better frames. Then of course get the PS5 Pro. I'm not going to tell you not to get it, but and there may be value in you yet. So getting it. So my trolling aside, there'll be people who will still just console gamers. They'll never touch PC, and they want the best experience. And for them, the price is an issue. Then of course you can get it. But yeah, I think that the smart play is actually building the PC or potentially waiting for the next box, which we have now getting some more and more news about. So Jez Corden this time Windows Central. I think this is pretty much a given. We've been saying for a while 2027. I think initially we were saying 2026, but now it's definitely looking like 2027 for the next Xbox. He talked about Handheld, which we'll talk about in a bit. But the next Xbox coming out in 2027 is very interesting because that means we're going to start to hear about it either tail end of this year, but most likely next year. I think the pressure with Xbox and its dwindling value proposition of its consoles because of its multi-platform strategy means that there may be some pressure for Xbox to actually talk about the next Xbox sooner rather than later. So maybe perhaps, I'm just guessing here, but just my observation of the state of the industry and the pressure and the discourse about it. I don't know if it's just a tiny, Xbox execs don't think that a lot of our voices matter that much because we're such a tiny portion of the gaming landscape. He says like Twitter doesn't reflect the world. That's basically what Phil Spencer told Cole Eastwood. I was like, this little piece of shit. He whispers in your ears and basically says you guys don't matter. But I guess there's an element of truth to that as well, though. But at the same time, there is pressure on there. I think I've always said that the sentiments cascade down, and you're going to get a next Xbox. And my video that I'm working on right now is talking about the next Xbox and what Xbox needs to do, and what the Xbox is rumored to be doing to make some kind of dent or just a splash in this space. And my video is basically talking about the Xbox is redundant. If you do, Xbox don't even want to be in the hardware space right now. It doesn't look like they want to be. It's just not convenient for them. But the problem is, right now, as far as they're a gigantic mega publisher that the amount of studios and developers they have under their banner, it just completely eclipses Nintendo and Sony. It's ridiculous. It's magnitude times bigger. But the problem with that is they're so big, it would be stupid for them in terms of revenue to sequester themselves into such a tiny console market because of, well, their own failings that haven't stopped them from actually expanding the console market, particularly at the start of this gen. I thought they had a really good opportunity, but 2022, they let that momentum shit the bed. So there's only one real opportunity. Satya Nadella is not here, and Microsoft's not going to do consoles for the sake of it. Right now, Game Pass subscribers, in the bulk of them, or the majority, I should say, of them are still on consoles. And that's the problem where if it wasn't the case, and say it was 50-50, maybe 60-40 PC, then they might not even bother with the next Xbox. But I think this next gen is perhaps their last gen in the hardware space, perhaps. But I think there's one way they could absolutely flip the entire console market on its head by doing something extremely bold and just opening the shit up of their next console, and which is what everyone's talking about. This is a hybrid-based console that's going to marry in the open platformness of the PC market with the form factor, or not just form factor, but the ease of use of a home console. Consoles are basically just kind of like, they're basically PCs, but they're hamstrung and just really enclosed and limited on purpose. It has benefits because you put them in a walled garden and then you impose really ridiculous prices. And Microsoft has, and Sony especially, benefits greatly from that closed walled garden and much more egregious pricing on everything, compared to other platforms like PC. But Microsoft is seeing so many such dwindling sales. I think in Japan they sold like 500 this week or something, which is compared to last gen. I guess in Japan they seem to be doing better, which is not saying much. But because the console has no real long legs, the only way it's feasible to spend billions in R&D and making a next console is just flipping it on its head. So now we might actually see Microsoft lean into its Windowsness, that's what Jez Corden is talking about. That's what they're doing now, is leaning on their Windows strengths to really just basically offer what could be like a hybrid console / PC thing that, if done well, could do what Xbox has struggled to do from the outset, barring maybe the 360 gen, which is have worldwide appeal by offering a gaming PC / console to the masses. But there are question marks around what that actually looks like. A lot of people, and there's some serious questions, like the walled garden lets them benefit massively from, the software sales. If you now start, what are you going to do? Are you going to allow Steam on there? Steam are looking to do their own thing. Like, why would they, if they allow Steam on there, then people would just use the Steam marketplace to buy that shit. And then boom, Microsoft's not getting a big chunk of change if they do that. So that part is, I've scratched my head around how that's even feasible. But at the same time, I also think, well, okay, you're leaning into the subscription service of yours very strongly. So you could offer an incentive to open it up, subject to people who have Ultimate or something like that, and then open it. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But why don't you lean into your subscription service? If you really believe in it, you're getting now masses of more money from PlayStation, who are funding the games market a lot more. Forza Horizon, Sea of Thieves, which is a 6-year-old game, dominated the PlayStation pre-order things. Forza Horizon dominated the PlayStation 5's the pre-order charts. Now you've got lots of revenue coming in from PlayStation. So why don't you just use your Xbox to lean in on the service element of itself and take a chunky hit on the revenue you'd get from your walled garden in the Xbox environment? What do you think this is going to be? Because we know Xbox cannot afford to have another console that just flops. They're not going to just spend money on a shitty console. And if they do, and it's just a Series X version 2, it's going to... No, who wants to buy that? Apart from the hardcore, maybe perhaps in this chat, who are just Xbox gamers who love the Xbox environment.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's for me, it's this is one of the main reasons I said this months ago. At the moment, I have zero reason to invest in the next Xbox, which is why I'm going to PC as the primary for anything to do with Xbox going forward. Next gen, we'll stick with the PS6 and the Switch 2, and then get a PC for the Xbox content. And that's because there is no, as it stands right now, there is no reason to invest in the next Xbox. Yeah. Because software-wise, it's going everywhere. Yep. Everyone should be aware of that now, should be completely sunk in. All software will be going everywhere. Yep. It's whether it's day one, whether it's 6 months down the line, it'll be everywhere. So they don't have a software reason to invest in that platform. The only thing they have is Game Pass. And again, if you're merging over to PC, you're not missing out there anyway, because you get that there. They're looking at handhelds, so you can get your Game Pass there. You got your current consoles, they'll still have Game Pass on, you'll still play them there. The next gen games will be able to run on the cloud anyway, so you'll be able to stream those games on the cloud as cloud gets better. We know they're investing in improving cloud, so it's higher bit rate. So then you don't have an immediate reason to upgrade on that. And as you've pointed out, if they did completely open up the console, or whatever this hybrid console is next gen, and allow Steam on the platform, then it begs the question, how would that benefit them? Because Steam is a significantly cheaper market to buy games from. So from a third-party perspective, no one's going to buy games on Microsoft's platform, and they're going to go to Steam to buy their third-party games, and then they'd lose out that massive chunk of change. So then they'd lose there. On a hardware-based front anyway, they have to do something different, and they have to do it if they want to stay in the hardware game, because it has been steadily decreasing since Xbox One in terms of volume. The current series consoles, In fact, since 360, it's been downwards trend
Yeah.
in terms of hardware sales. And the series consoles are behind Xbox One generation.
Which is horrible.
So if it continues, and I've said this multiple times, Xbox aren't going to go out a hardware thing overnight. But if it continues that trend where hardware sales are continuing downward and downward, it is only a matter of time, regardless of Game Pass exists, that they will continue to make hardware. Because it's never, people will merge over. There's going to be a trend of people going, right, well, Game Pass is available on my current console, it's available on PC, I'm going to get the Xbox handheld instead, so I'll play Xbox Game Pass on that, or mobile, or TV, whatever it is. I think their ultimate end goal, however, is because they've got their games going on to other platforms, is they would love to have Game Pass on the other consoles.
Yeah, of course they would.
And I think they would probably be arching towards that. They'd probably have to come up with some form of financial agreement in terms of percentages with the other consoles to say, listen, okay, any Game Pass titles on your consoles or Game Pass subscriptions on your consoles, you get X percentage. So they would allow it. But I think that's their end goal, is to have that thing available everywhere, because Game Pass is their selling tool. The problem is they just don't sell it very well.
Yeah, no, honestly.
It's been stuck at plateaued at this anywhere between 30-35 million for quite a while now, and it's not really going up. It's not really jumping, despite all these big titles going in. So for me, with Xbox and their next console, they just need to have an actual unique selling point in order to shift it. And I just don't think turning it into a PC is going to be a good enough unique selling point for them.
Yeah.
To shift enough units, because those who want PC will buy PC, those who want console will probably get PlayStation, or those who just want to hold on to their back catalogs for a while will get the next console. But I don't think it'll be as many people as they foresee.
Yeah.
For me, my back catalogue remains on my Series X.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
There. So I'll keep the Series X. I'm not selling it, but there's no reason to invest in the new one. I think their bigger thing for Microsoft going forwards is to, if they are and they are doing the handheld, is to nail that. I think moreover than the console itself. And I think that will replace, I think the handheld, the actual Xbox One, not the third-party one by Asus. The actual first-party handheld, when that releases, that will be their second SKU. That will be replacing what the Series S is now.
So we've got that. That'd be interesting. That's in 2027 as well.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm more interested in, actually. I think you're right.
That's for me. That's going to be the for me. If I'm going to invest in anything Xbox next gen, it'll be the handheld.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm interested in.
As long as it's native and I can install my games to it and play it like I would an actual Xbox console, and it feels like an Xbox console in the hand, then that's what I want. If it just feels like a ROG Ally or a Steam Deck, then I'll just buy a ROG Ally or a Steam Deck.
Yeah, which is what we found out this week, that Jez Corden reported on the OEM console, which is basically that's coming out this year, and it's like some Xbox branding on it, but you can't play Xbox games natively on it. And it has some like form factors with, I don't know, like some Xbox branding elements of it, but you can't even. It's basically a ROG Ally with some Xbox.
You can't take your back catalog with you. You can play like your Game Passy stuff on it and things.
Yeah, but that's a bit of shit, no?
Yeah, it is. But that's the third party stuff. That's the third party stuff that we're talking about, and this is what they're talking about with console as well. So that's not just for handheld, because of course they've also mentioned that they're kind of dabbling in the idea that in the future that it won't just be them producing the consoles either.
Yeah,
they'll be having a couple of OEMs like the likes of Asus, etc., making their versions of the Xbox console, because they're making this new operating system that's Windows based.
Yeah,
with an Xbox kind of overlay, more so now than what it is now, because of course we know the Xbox is a Windows based operating system. It's just Xbox's version of that, but this is going to be more heavily Windows based, with more of an Xbox kind of Steam big picture, should we say?
Look
to it.
Exactly. Exactly. King Thrash, thank you there with a $10 super chat. He goes, hybrid console equals lower quality games. Well, potentially. Stop making hardware, go third party, and invest only in games. Steam Deck and Asus failures prove there is no real market for expensive open platform handhelds. I wouldn't call them failures. They haven't sold masses of consoles. Steam Deck particularly, I think it was what, 3-4 million or something like that. It's not exactly earth-shattering.
But I don't think enough to justify another model and another model and another model of them.
Yeah.
And if the likes, the thing is though, is the bigger the investment is, well, it's the bigger the earnings are from companies like Steam, which are massive. They can justify spending, and it's not to them, it's not massive money. Kind of, okay, we've got this handheld now. We already know what we need to do. All we need to do is refine it and make it better going forward.
Yeah.
So Steam Deck are fine. Asus, they've been making graphics cards and computers for years, so they're fine making these handhelds because again, it's just another open door system. The only thing with Asus is that they aren't Steam, so they don't have a marketplace of their own to recuperate money.
Yeah.
So to them, it becomes so how does this benefit you scenario from Asus?
No, honestly, yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's an odd one. I feel like I would love, although it's still Microsoft, I'd love if Sega came back in the console space. I could actually be interested in some competition in this space. But I would love if Microsoft did do something that really kind of challenged the idea of consoles in this space by opening it up massively. Because I think ultimately, yeah, you're losing out money, but your brand is diluted to shit at the moment. There's no real reason to own an Xbox console really, other than if you have Game Pass, and that's not exactly the best thing to say about an Xbox console, really. So what do you need to do? So if you're going to invest money, I think just open it up. Just give people a hybrid console, like King Thrash says, is lower quality games. I don't necessarily agree with that. It depends on the execution of this thing. But a lot of people want PC kind of experiences. But like people say, it costs a lot to make that. To have a gaming PC. If you can bridge the divide between the two, and offer people something, then at least you're being disruptive, and that's all I'm asking for with a hybrid console. Just disrupt the market and open the platform up, because you're fighting a losing battle anyway. What King Thrash says about stop making games go third party, that's basically the trajectory Xbox is heading in now anyway. They don't necessarily have to
stop making hardware overnight, because there is still, as it stands, there is still
that's
a
the thing.
market for them. There is still a market for them. There's still got users there, so they can't just cut them out overnight. I think, like I mentioned, if the trend continues in terms of its sales of hardware over the next 10, 15 years, the likelihood is that will be the case, as they'll stop making it in the long run. But we'll have to see how that performs and how this next evolution of Microsoft hardware performs as well.
It's going to be lower unless they change it. Honestly, it's going to be... You had Peter Moore talk about the fact that Xbox doesn't really want to be in this space. They're so big now. This software is where the money's at. That's where the cash is at. Sony's strategy is going to persist for a long time, as long as it can, of having this insular console model and then timed exclusives on PC. Maybe one day and date. I still think it'll be a little bit of a ways away, but I don't know. It just seems like they are scrounging for the squeeze, actually, for some revenue there as well. But, you know, it's an interesting challenge. It's Microsoft's challenge, and I'd love to see what they're doing. The video I'm working on is kind of like postulating on the wild idea of, if executed properly, this hybrid console turns things on its head. There is potential there, but Microsoft is so utterly inept in execution for a $1 trillion company in the gaming space that chances of it faltering are higher than it succeeding. But at the same time, the potential is there. But we'll have to wait and see on what they're doing. I think
one thing that I want to see for next consoles, regardless of what they're doing, and again, the one thing that we haven't really spoke about there is, of course, what they're doing. We don't know whether or not they're staying with AMD.
Yes.
Or reverting back to Nvidia like they did with the original Xbox One. That would also be a game changer, because then when you're talking about comparisons of quality and graphics and performance, then you've got Sony's AMD, PlayStation 6, Microsoft's Nvidia, Xbox, whatever it is. That then becomes another interesting conversation.
Yeah.
You go, okay,
I want that
now we can
change.
get a comparison.
That would be
change.
really, that would be interesting. I want some change, even though I'm not really interested in the consoles. I mean, next gen I'll probably get PS6 and PC, but even then, I hope PlayStation go day to day, so I don't have to buy a PlayStation. But at the same time, you need PlayStation in this space. But if PlayStation stick with AMD, which they will, and Microsoft go Nvidia, then you have some kind of another tertiary element of competition. Now you've got AMD and Nvidia invested in that competition, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that space.
And for the love of God, increase the RAM, increase the memory on these consoles.
That means no Series S version.
But like both, but if you think about it, I don't understand why. If you have a look at PC modern gaming now, on PC, like the bare minimum you need to get any decent quality on PC is at least 12 gig of video
VRAM. Yeah.
Yeah, on top of at least 64 gig of RAM on your PC as well. Consoles have got 16 total.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? Like, you need to bump that up, push numbers up. They're terrible.
Yeah.
And that's one of the CPU and the memory allocation on consoles is what's really holding them back. The GPUs on both of them are absolutely fine.
Yeah.
If the memory and the CPU was better, we wouldn't be having half the discussions we're having now, because the performance wouldn't be. I think that in the next gen, both the PlayStation and the Xbox, memory and CPU there needs to be no bottlenecks there.
Well, this is where I want Xbox to really just throw the whole freaking blue sky at this. Just open the shit up, make it modular, make it also just break it. So like, imagine you bridge that. So console gamers will spend so much on custom faceplates, this and that. PC gamers love building nice rigs. So why don't you combine the two, have a modular console, see-through panels, this and that, whatever you want to do. Really go hard at it. Have your Windows in there. So now that makes Satya Nadella happy, because they're like, oh, now we've got more Windows users. You can appeal to markets like in Asia, like in Europe, where people are like, I'm actually getting a PC hybrid console thing. Like in Saudi Arabia, they'll be like, all right, wow, okay, I can play Counter-Strike with this. And these games at this fidelity, if you open it up, and I've got the modular upgrade later on for mid-gen stuff. They can sell you proprietary GPUs in tandem with NVIDIA for this console. So, it's like if NVIDIA releases a 6000 series, you can have a console version of it called, in collaboration, the Xbox 6010X, whatever the bollocks. That kind of smart play and disruptive play that reads into the fact that, more people are heading towards PC. And the future is PC, and now you're bringing in both. So a lot of people are like, I can't be asked with the faff of a PC. Well, now we're like, here it is. This is this box that is a PC, but it's like running through the Xbox OS, and we'll have the Steam OS has its own thing that we announced, I think today, that they're gonna have their, that kind of Mike Ybarra was still sharing it about having the Steam UI being, I don't know, like integrated with other devices as well.
Yeah.
It's all heading in that direction. So if Xbox is going to really seriously spend some real R&D in doing it, but the thing is, Microsoft is such a, the 360 was the exception to the rule. The original Xbox was amazing as well, in my opinion. And at 360, they just had these incredible engineers that developed this incredible console, even though it had the Red Ring of Death, which is a different issue. But in terms of its actual design and the ingenuity with the blade system, with the achievement system on a software level, and then having party chat, and then the headphone, there's a different Xbox. There's a whole different ball game. Now you need to invest in it, in these kind of genius teams, work together to say, look, this is your mandate. We're going to just blow this whole thing wide open. You can literally dominate the space. It's really possible to do that. This is what I'm trying to relay in my video. But the chances are Xbox won't. But we will see. We will see.
Yeah.
before we go and call it a day, I just want to quickly talk about a couple of game announcements. The Warhammer Space Marines 3 has already been in the works. Oh yeah, baby. And I'm just playing my Space Marines 2 video. It's on the channel. Space Marines 3, man. I'm so happy that this is my first experience with Warhammer was Space Marines 2. And for me, I used to take the piss out of Warhammer because for me, it was just those stores where people painted their models, and I just saw a bunch of like, virgins go in there, and it just smelt a certain way, and just playing. I just thought, this is just ultra, I can't. Because I look into the shop, I always love the designs of the Warhammer characters, but I'm like, this is just weird, like tabletop stuff. They're playing cards, or what are they doing? Are they playing with toys? Such a naive way of thinking. It's such a, just basically being a twat. But then when we saw gameplay for Space Marines 2, I was like, holy shit, what's going on? And then when I played the game and like just got exposed to the lore of the game, and the lore is massive. Like I've asked my mate who's a massive Warhammer fan, where do I start? They're like, mate, you can't start with the books. It goes so far forever. Like you'll never do it. But I've never come across a game like a lore like this where the people you control are just basic. Everything is dark. It's called grimdark. Actually, that's the name of the genre, where everything is just freaking bad. The people that it's just war. You've got babies that are just been ripped apart and turned into either like basically slaves to work for you, or you've got people like turned it like human skulls as light switches and stuff like that, because in this future everything is dark. Mankind only exists to fight and have war, and if you haven't got a purpose, you'll be reconditioned into an air conditioning unit or a light switch or something like that. It's so dark, but it's so brilliant. It's the kind of lore we like, and we just grew up as kids, and I just got exposed to it, and I so thoroughly enjoyed Space Marines 2. It's not exactly the most like innovative game. It's a third-person game that, in my opinion, actually married in good third-person and melee together in a really unique way. And I was just like, oh, this is the kind of game you used to get in the 360 gen, but with all the bells and whistles, and it just works.
Also just fun old gameplay.
Exactly, old gameplay looks nice, looks fun, doesn't take itself too seriously. Well, everything is serious in it. It's just fun, and it did so well. Like they sold record levels for the studio that they've already started working on Space Marines 3. I still need to do the co-op on this, but I so thoroughly enjoyed my time with this game. It's one of those that looked so nice, and I always thought, yeah, but is this studio actually going to do like justice to the game? Like, it looks nice, but nah, man, it exceeded my expectations. Such a great surprise. So Warhammer 3, it's there. It's getting ready. It's going to be.
And the set pieces, the CGI bits. I mean, even playing through the campaign, I haven't done the co-op part either. To be fair,
yeah,
I still need to go back and do the co-op missions, which I like because it's the opposite side of the story. So when you're doing the story all the way through, you see your perspective, and then you tell your team, okay, you need to go off and do this. And the co-op section of that is going off and doing those missions that you told the other group to do.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that it's essentially two campaigns there. It's your campaign to play through, and then the alternate side of that story,
which is amazing. Which I still haven't done yet, because I actually really want to stream that, which is my problem, or just make a video on it. Like, our mates just having this fun story, but it's such a clever way of because in the story you see this other team that just go off, and you give them say you have this task. And I didn't realize you actually go in the co-op. That's what you're playing. That team going out there doing stuff, and then in that they open it up as well, because you've got other abilities there as well, like the grappling hook and stuff like that you can actually access in the multiplayer. So this is a great game, and I'm really glad that the team is getting a third title in Space Marines, and I hope it becomes a staple in the series, because this is the kind of like game that we kind of need as well, because not everything has to be like some Death Stranding 2 level weirdness, or a pretentious kind of The Last of Us title just make you feel things about and question your life. You just sometimes want to shoot shit, just feel like a badass in really good-looking environments. I imagine that Space Marines 3 is going to be a PS6 next-gen title, depending on how long it takes. I hope it is. The engine itself was really good. This is one of those that kind of made a case for more proprietary engines as opposed to heavily relying on Unreal Engine like every other studio does. So part of me does hope that they still work on their proprietary tech, because as much as I love Unreal Engine, I think there's big value in making your own engines shine, because you can do unique things like Decima just proved with Death Stranding 2. But yeah, man, Space Marines is a source. If you haven't played it, I don't know what you're playing at, man. Just play it. FU Gaz, the lore in Warhammer is crazy, says Southwall. I'm sure it is, man. I'm trying to get into it, but I don't know where to start. But yeah, King Thrash, why are you stopping talking? Say people who say Horizon failed because it sold 8 million when PlayStation had 50 million are saying Steam Deck was successful because it had sold 3 million when the Steam has 200 million. It's a bit of hardware. I still don't think the numbers are great there, King Thrash, but I take your point on board. I don't think it's massively impressive, but the companies are investing in their handhelds. Sony's and Portal is doing really well, and that's just a cloud device. They're already working. We've already found out that they're working on a handheld as well. So PlayStation 6 is going to be coming out with a handheld, and that handheld is going to sell like mad because PlayStation's brand strength. PlayStation's like Apple, man. They all sell. That's what it is. But yeah, man, this game is amazing, bro. I love this game. And I just
the set pieces, especially in the final level where you've got like some awesome like movie scenes that are going off with that final fight. Is
my god, it's annoying because they only had the CGI like the beginning and then they had the end of it. But in a way, it was so cool because it just came out in left field. Like, what? You just chucked this crazy like roundabout here that when you
like
this
crazy Warhammer movie.
Yeah, I was like, yo. I actually watched the Warhammer level 1 level. What was it called? The Amazon thing. Yes, secret level. Yesterday again is so good. I would play it, but then it just gets flagged up. It's so epic, man, and I love Warhammer now, and I just want to read more and more about the lore. And this main character, I forgot his name now. You have such an appreciation for him now after that secret level episode that really explains just how much of a badass he is. So yeah, man, Warhammer is just gonna be dank. It's gonna be dank. I think we've covered everything. Other than just one final. Sorry to call you there. I'm just conscious of the time, but one final topic is Ubisoft is looking to sell its IPs to everyone, whoever can buy shit. Ubisoft shareholder claims that the company's failed to disclose meetings with EA and Microsoft about acquiring IPs. What do you think about this, bro? I feel like it's inevitable. I think so. I've talked to people who have played Assassin's Creed Shadows, and that game I think will surprise people because I think it's a really good game, and I think it's gonna do well, but not well enough to save Ubisoft. And I think Ubisoft are in absolute turmoil. I think they're going to be getting murked. There's going to be masses of job losses incoming.
Yep.
And they will have to either wholesale sell to someone, to Tencent, or they will sell off their IPs, which I think they will glean a lot of value out of when they're selling out these IPs. What do you think is going to happen with Ubisoft?
Yeah, I mean, they are absolutely, like, in terms of staff levels, they are massive still. I'm sure it's still anywhere between 18 and 20,000 worldwide that they've got working for Ubisoft. They're an absolute juggernaut in terms of the amount of developers they've got working for them, which you don't quite realise. But in terms of this is also a problem for them because they don't put out enough titles across Ubisoft to kind of upkeep that amount of studios.
Yeah.
And they don't. Like, yes, you get your new Assassin's Creed every now and again. But then you had like the Daft Sailing one. What was it? Black. What was the pirate?
Black Flag.
That was terrible.
No, that's
Flag,
Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Sorry. Skull and Bones.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah. Didn't even try to play that.
I was in. For some reason, they kept inviting me to every alpha and every beta that they had going, and I was like,
"Don't care." I don't care.
I played like the alpha and the beta, and I was like it's not getting any better, and I'm not gonna play this game. Stop inviting us.
Yeah. They carried on anyway.
Stop it. But they're just not putting out enough titles to do it, and again, spending fortunes on doing that with all the titles.
Yeah.
They're very quality developers when they put their minds to it. But the problem is, and everybody's gotten used to it now, it's the Ubisoft formula with their titles. So no matter whether it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Valhalla or whatever it is, you know exactly what you can come to expect from every title release. Whether and then you have a look at Avatar when that came out, beautiful in its presentation, but it was a Ubisoft game.
Yeah.
Everything they do, it's just trademark Ubisoft, and it never really changes. Like nothing stands out as like pushing the genres forward, or doing something different that actually changes the game for them.
Yeah.
And on that front, then you've let a lot of their older titles go stale. I mean, Beyond Good and Evil 2's been in God knows what kind of hell since that was announced.
We can assume that's cancelled, man.
We're going to assume it, but God knows. You know?
Yeah, mate, there's no way. I think we saw something about that's been cancelled a while ago. I'm not sure if that's... we can assume it's dead, man. Like, come on, man.
Then, like you say, then you've got mistreated IPs like Ghost Recon or Splinter Cell or all of these, and that where they just keep teasing things, and then you end up having Sam Fisher in fucking Fortnite instead. You're like, so like instead of actually making a Splinter Cell game, you're going to give us Sam Fisher in Fortnite, okay? And then they announced teased kind of a new Splinter Cell, and then nothing's really happened. And like, is it gonna come? Is it not gonna come? And then you had the Ghost Recon titles, and Wildlands was good, Breakpoint was okay, but then it's really like kind of lost its identity a little bit. And I feel like selling some of the IP might help them a little bit, but I don't think ultimately Ubisoft are going to be as good as they used to be.
They're finished. They're not the same. They're not the same anymore.
I mean, Yves Guillemot needs to. Ideally, he needs to sell up to somebody who's competent enough to look after that going forward.
Yeah,
I think Ubisoft can survive, but yes, selling IPs probably what they're going to need to do. I don't see Assassin's Creed going anywhere, but I do see potentially Tom Clancy's IP going elsewhere. I think they'll get rid of Tom Clancy's IP.
It would be makes sense if Xbox got Splinter Cell.
They were going to do the new Division, weren't they? And then they canned that.
Yeah, which I don't blame them. But Division 2 was actually decent though.
Division 2 was decent, but then they started making that new Division, and they canned it, and then they had another one that they were going to do, and then they canned that. So just get rid of the Tom Clancy IP, sell it to somebody who's going to do justice.
Yep.
And the only reason I would say Microsoft is a good proponent for taking studios over now is because their remit is put it everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's not going to make any difference to anybody if it goes to Microsoft now, because everybody's going to get the game.
Exactly. So no, honestly, they're a third-party publisher. It's a win-win for everyone. Everyone's going to get it. Xbox gamers massively win if you're a Game Pass subscriber, because they're going to get that on their service. Yeah. But at the very least, with the Microsoft coffers, it gives you a security buffer as well, which is quite hilarious because a lot of people said how anti-consumer the ABK deal was. But Microsoft now is one of the most pro-consumer, if not Microsoft, the most pro-consumer platform out of all three, but without a shadow of a doubt. With them acquiring it, I don't think anyone's going to cry. I think Microsoft better than EA. You find out today with EA that the what's it called, Skate, or they have the alpha. They started introducing microtransactions to that in the alpha. I was like, bro, what are you taking the piss? EA just don't want to get their reputation to be better. It's just insane. Insane to me.
EA have been saying that for years, though. They've been constantly just like trying to essentially just force money options into every orifice of their game development, and that boils down from the very top. Like every time you hear the head of EA speaking about games, he's always talking about how he can get more money out of people, as opposed to how to make a better game.
Yeah, like, honestly, that's all they think about, just squeezing. That's all he talks about. It's just bollocks, man. It's just that's what they do. It's bullshit. But it's going to be interesting to see. Either way, I genuinely want something to happen to Ubisoft, not for people to lose their jobs, but I want something to happen to their IPs. So I'm not celebrating their demise just yet. I just think that they're just run terribly as a company, and they just need to have a change of... the change of guard is not going to happen organization wide. That's not going to... It's too late for that. So someone take over the IPs.
I'm really surprised because there's Ubisoft in Newcastle, Ubisoft Reflections. I'm really surprised they're still open, to be fair, because they have closed and let go of a number of Ubisoft staff in other Reflections things in the UK.
Yeah.
And let go of staff there. So I'm surprised Reflections in Newcastle hasn't been hit yet, to be fair. They're probably the biggest we've got around here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting times. We've got games coming out. Some studios going to be shutting down. They're going to be IPs galore. My Xbox goes third party. Xbox will be delivering more games on PlayStation from its first party stable than PlayStation will be delivering to its own platform this year. We also have news of People Can Fly. They're working with Sony, actually, right? On a new game. And that's going to be really... I'm actually excited about that, because you were talking about the fact that this could be a... third party, this could be Killzone or Resistance coming back, and I would love to get another Killzone. Honestly, Halo was thoroughly destroyed Killzone in successive generations, but I think we are ready for a Killzone now. I think there's so much value in what Killzone could do, but it could be SOCOM, it could be Siphon Filter, whatever it is. Whoever, just palm off your IPs. If you're not interested, maybe People Can Fly can do something justice. So that's going to be a big one. What do you reckon it's going to be?
Yeah, and again, people have also mentioned SOCOM, and it could either of those three, Resistance, SOCOM, or Killzone would be fantastic. I think it would be great. Like the previous Killzone that launched with the PlayStation 4 was a technical showcase, but in terms of its game, was terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Quite a few people as well. Like they were saying, like if you just stand back, the enemies will just infinitely respawn. Like it's just the same thing over and over. Like it doesn't just. There's no end point. And
yeah. It's horrible game design.
Going like, okay, so I either need to go forward because otherwise I'll just be here forever.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't story-wise. It wasn't that great. But these are franchises that could do with a reboot, specifically the likes of Resistance or SOCOM, and I think People Can Fly are a really good developer to kind of jump on that. If you have a look at kind of the Outriders was a fantastic game.
Outriders,
highly underrated. Of course, it didn't do as well as they wanted it to, but it was a fantastic game. And I think if you brought in a new Sony, a reboot of an FPS on Sony's platform, with a story, like Master Chief has with himself, that's a good FPS, has an awesome multiplayer, but it has a story campaign that goes along with it. Like your Call of Duties do, you get your awesome multiplayer, but you've got this little story campaign that goes along with it. Doesn't have to outstay its welcome, 6 to 8 hours, whatever. Nice and easy. Bring it back, absolutely. I would love it. We've been shouting about it for ages, and if People Can Fly are making something like that, you would hope they're making an FPS for PlayStation.
Yeah,
and
man.
they've said it's one of their first-party IPs. So if it's one of PlayStation's IP, it has to be one of those three.
It's interesting. It's like a lot of it's the PlayStation faithful just so happy with their third person over the shoulder sad dad shit, but it's the other people, including Xbox fans, just actually want the best for Sony to really explore on the IPs that may have not done the massive numbers that they would have thought, but actually recognize that there is a lot of scope for greatness. I mean, Killzone 2 had like a 91 or something meta. It wasn't. It was a critical, massive success, And Killzone is something I truly believe in the IP to do something well. If they're not interested, and Guerrilla Games have said that they're not interested, then get something. I mean, even now, this is not the fake. No, this is not the fake trailer because so Guerrilla Games had a very fake E3. Remember that? That was absolutely egregious. They even had bloody John Carmack coming in, chiming in on this is fake. But this the real one. Look, it looks amazing even now. But if you can do something like with Killzone, I would love it. BT Maverick says Steam Deck isn't sold at King Thrasher's local Walmart, Friends, or any other brick and mortar tech store across the world. Close to 8 million is pretty solid, says BT Maverick. Oh shit, the fire, the vitriol is real. But yeah, man, I am excited about it. I really think, and I've said this before, PlayStation has failed tremendously this generation when it came to its multiplayer pivot. They did not do it justice because it's exposed Sony for what they are, for what we have mocked them being a one-trick pony. But I think what will happen, the same thing that happened with Xbox last generation, this generation we're seeing to reap the rewards of them doing single-player games really well. You're going to see Fable is going to do really well. Hellblade 2, even though it's like more confined, is still an excellent title. If you loved Hellblade 1, you're going to see Xbox is really touting its single player muscles. This almost entire its slate is basically single player centric. Avowed is single player. They've got RPGs. You've got Outer World, Fable, Perfect Dark. All their games are single player, which is a slap in the face of a lot of people's narratives about what Xbox was going to do with Game Pass and gas and all sorts. While PlayStation did the opposite, did what they thought Microsoft was going to do, then failed tremendously. But what happens with that is, and whilst I bemoan the lack of competition in this space, they will still recognize that they need to do these things in the long term because there's an audience there. So what you'll get in the PS6 generation is a multiplayer, or maybe the tail end of this generation, a multiplayer PlayStation title that does hit the zeitgeist. I'm not talking about Helldivers 2, that's second party. I'm talking about a PlayStation first party studio delivering the goods, or people can fly using a PlayStation IP to deliver the goods, and I'm excited about that. I think that's the kind of shit I need to see.
This is what I was talking about when we were talking about kind of the games as a service pivot that PlayStation did, because the most idiotic thing that they did was IPs that nobody wanted games as a service was the ones that they were developing. Like, we're going to make a God of War games as a service multiplayer.
So dumb.
What?
So
we're going to
dumb.
make a Horizon game. Why?
Yeah.
You've got so many IPs sitting there that would work as a gas multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Like a SOCOM or a Killzone. You could have, again, your separate campaign and your multiplayer, and that's where you do it. That's why the likes of Halo is, as much as it wasn't as popular, still has players playing it. It's a gas game. It still has maps. It's got its creative modes. It's got its campaign. It has everything. And you've got your Sea of Thieves, which has its... You can play it by yourself, or you can play it online, and it's gas.
Yeah.
You've got all of your different MMO games. They're done. They've got their games that are making their money in the multiplayer segment.
Yeah.
They don't need to continuously focus on that now. Sony were making multiplayer or gas games that nobody was bothered about, and cancelling the ones that there were, like factions.
Yeah. Yes. It's so crazy. It's so inept. The whole idea of Sony's quality control, all that shit, that illusion got shattered this generation in the last couple of years. And it really exposed their weakness. And a lot of PlayStation guys don't want to talk about it, but it's a fat, gigantic failure that will be a feature that defines PlayStation's performance this generation. But I think they will hopefully overcome that. Otherwise, what's the point of PlayStation? If you're happy with the 1 or 2 of the Sad Dad games a year, then I guess that's okay. But then, what a shit platform, if that's what, for me anyway. I'll wait for them to come out on PC, and that's it. And PlayStation is just a third-party console machine to me, and that's why we need.
The thing as well for PlayStation going forward, because a lot of the big third parties are saying, like, we're kind of done with doing these platform exclusives now because we're not seeing the financial benefits of them anymore.
Yeah.
The likes of Square Enix are kind of arching that way now as well.
Oh, they're definitely arching that way.
The third title, like I think the third Final Fantasy of the 7 series, the third and final one will be the last one with a timed exclusive
Yeah.
For that, and that's only because it's pre-contractually agreed
Yeah.
ages ago. But I think going forward, even Square have said it themselves. Like we're going to want everything everywhere, and we're going to be doing that. So PlayStation won't have that Square Enix crutch in the next gen.
Yeah.
Giving them the new Final Fantasy first, and a lot of developers don't want that anymore. This is why kind of Microsoft's position now as a third-party publisher on everything is benefiting them even greater when it comes to developers, because they're going, yeah, we'll work with Microsoft because we know our game's going everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll make a game with Microsoft because it's going everywhere. We're not going to lose anything here. Everyone's going to be able to buy it.
And I think that's a big part of the strategy that I think a lot of people downplay. Console warriors will downplay massively. But these are what developers are saying. It's not just Square Enix. Everyone wants to do it. If you look at why
Kojima purchased his IP for Death Stranding because he wanted his games to go on elsewhere now.
Exactly, right there is Kojima. You had Cory Barlog as the one who made Sony push for God of War on PC. They didn't really want to do it, but the developers are telling him. It was them who were saying it. So I don't know what the... So, you know, there may be in a few years we might be talking about actually Xbox was quite forward-facing in this, because despite it was born out of their failings there, but they did also read into the market and where developers are wanting them to go. They could support it because their capital investment, or because Microsoft allows them to take those risks and go do this and still be a viable platform. So I think in a few years we'll be critical at Xbox hardcore, we'll be critical of it now, but in future it may come to a point where we do see like, okay, the industry ended up that way anyway. The question remains what PlayStation does in this space. And if PlayStation does capitulate, the PC day and date thing will be the biggest signal. I don't think it will massively harm their market at all, to be honest, because the brand strength of a console, and PlayStation is like a console. You think about gaming, you think PlayStation. You think Nintendo as well, but Nintendo has its own. Nintendo's almost like its own subcategory, like you think gaming. So there are challenges in this space. People are pretty naive if they think things are going to stay the same, in my opinion. Or maybe wrong, and then in future it's still a PlayStation walled garden with timed exclusives on PC, and a Nintendo just being exclusive. And
I think it will. I think it still will remain that way for PlayStation and Nintendo. Specifically Nintendo, they're never going to change.
Yeah.
But for PlayStation, the benefit PlayStation have still got is they've still got over 100 million, and they're probably likely to hit 100 million again this gen.
Yeah.
Console users, and that is still a significant amount of hardware to cover. And they're never going to stop making it. They don't have a reason to stop making it, and they've still got a reason to push exclusivity for their platform, which is why you'll not see the same for them as you will do. They're never going to push their games onto Xbox if they can help it. They'll just PC because they don't see that as a threat.
Yeah,
but definitely not Xbox. Xbox, I've already seen. Listen, the hardware, it's tailing off. We've got as much as we can do. We're not going to win anybody over anymore. So we'll make hardware, but our games are going everywhere now because that's where we're going to make money.
Yeah.
PlayStation still have a large enough user base on the console to not worry about that right now. They can go, right, we'll do console and PC.
Yeah.
That's us. That's us fine. But they do need to broaden their horizons with their IP.
They definitely do.
Need to change it up.
They need to change it up, 100%. They have to, man. Yeah. People are naive about that. I think Xbox going multiplayer is also a massive challenge. It's a massive threat to play Sony's as well, because what you're doing is you, as still dipping your toe in as a platform holder, are also pulling eyes away from it. So it's like you're getting PC spaces get growing, Xbox is getting masses of revenue. You think they get something like Game Pass? No, of course Sony doesn't like Game Pass existing. But if Xbox is selling more games on your platform, and Game Pass as a result gets a longer lease of life as a result of that, or assists in getting a longer lease of life, then you have a threat that you may be benefiting in the short term with those games coming to a PlayStation and a less of an existential threat on a hardware basis. But on a software side, you're still bleeding because you still have competition. You're feeding the beast that was your former competitor, but that could actually help change the gaming space. So people just think that it's going to remain the same, are very naive. So you can't pretend that with such certainty. So let's see how it plays out. It's going to be interesting. I like the way we don't know what's going to happen. It's like for the first time, because of Xbox kind of waving the white flag in the console competition space, but also growing. Everyone's like, oh, Xbox is Sega, but Xbox is not Sega. Xbox is huge now. Xbox is more massive than it's ever. The reason when it multiplied is because it's so big. Well, it would have failed otherwise based on the numbers of the shitty console sales, but they are massive. They're gigantic. So from a strictly software
side, ignoring the hardware problems Xbox have, from a strictly software side, it could not be better for gamers now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got mountains of studios funded by one of the richest, if second and or first, depending on what month you're in, richest company in the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's also like it sullies it a little bit because it's a creative place, but at the same time, it gives you a certainty and kind of like a little bit of a foundation, and like you get a windfall there. You've got Microsoft will withstand it.
Not only that, but I think the benefit with Microsoft is that the vast majority of the time they do give, and they have the power now to give studios the time to develop what they want to develop.
Yes.
And make it good. Like we've seen even now with Fable, and my thinking for Fable anyway getting pushed back was primarily because it was going to come out second half of the year. GTA have still not released that release date.
Yeah,
no. Like, this could be suicidal if we try and release Fable anywhere near GTA. And I think they're just like, let's just push it. Let's just push it at the beginning of next year, because nope. Let's not. I think their big game.
I think
that's
so.
Like one of their big ones.
I even said it before I made a video on it here. I just said, look, the it doesn't make sense to release Fable this year because you're gonna have 3 RPGs. Outer World 2 also comes out this year with Avowed. Then you've got GTA, which is the big one, and you're gonna hear a lot more titles. If GTA 6 comes out please come out this year, please. But if it comes out this year, then everything else is gonna get delayed around it. And you're right. As a software company, Xbox is delivering the goods like never before. Like this is the healthiest in terms of software that Xbox has ever been. You've got such diversity of games that Sony can't match. But you think they have an Avowed, you think they have a South of Midnight, and then they have a Doom, all in the same year. Then you're going to have a Ninja Gaiden, although that's second or third party. And then you're going to have Fable, then you're going to have Perfect Dark, and then you have State of Decay. You have such craziness, and apparently Double Fine's going to be revealing the game in this summer. So it's like, it's crazy what Xbox has become. Like, it's become huge. It's massive. Yeah. I forgot Call of Duty that they own, and if they do some stuff with console stuff on WoW, that could be something massive. Talks about StarCraft coming back. That's been absolutely just left to die. So if StarCraft comes back, that's going to be a big order, because I'm not happy with the way Xbox has done anything with ABK so far. I did say, and before ABK went through, and just as ABK went through, that I'll be on Xbox's neck demanding better from them from the ABK deal. And what have they done so far? Yeah, fair enough, you get like Tony Hawk and all of that. Not enough. You need to get more legacy games. That's a bare minimum with your Call of Duty stuff and the old games. But I want to see what you do. Bring back StarCraft. Do something with the Blizzard. Fix them up, because Blizzard has been shitting the bed for ages. I want to see StarCraft. I want to see, at least bring back Transformers. You've confirmed that you've not lost the code for it. Like I think Lulu Cheng Massave was talking about it a while ago, where people were postulating about the Transformers stuff. Bring that back. Bring those IPs back. Do something, Microsoft. You have to do it. And Xbox gamers should be demanding better, not just celebrate, oh, it's coming in Game Pass. Say, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing with ABK? And we need to see more. But ultimately, in that sense, Xbox is just really healthy. On the console side, it doesn't really matter for people. Well, console gamers will be happy. A lot of console gamers will be listening. Xbox console gamers listening to this and be really frustrated at the way I shit on Xbox and the value of the console. And that's not strictly true, because I know console gamers enjoy the Xbox. They'll enjoy. And I'm conscious of the fact that
everyone's gonna have their own reason to get it. Invest or not invest. Ultimately, our opinions about the console going forward are what we are going to do and what our thoughts on the console are. There's going to be lots of people that are like, yeah, I'm happy and I've got my back catalogue there, so I'm going to get the next one because my catalogue comes over with us. Fine, you do that. Brilliant. For me, that's not the case, of course, which is why I'm saying, ultimately they will have consoles going forward, but the trajectory is this way. It might come to a point, if the trajectory doesn't at least plateau and steady off and stops dipping, that they could end up going down the route of going, it's no longer worth spending the R&D and the manufacturing costs on making this.
And there's a big chance of that happening.
It'll be a long time. Yeah, it's still going to be good 10, 15 years. If it gets to that, it might not. Like you say, you could see the resurgence with the new hardware. You never know.
Or more likely, I think what you'll have is if the new hardware Xbox doesn't do what it's supposed to, you can have third parties building the Xbox hardware, like some partnerships. I think that would actually kind of keep them at bay. So, all right, we'll do a partnership with, I don't know, Razer or some shit like that, and produce Xbox hardware that way instead of sinking tons of R&D in it. I think it'd be short-sighted and it'll be stupid. Because that's
why they're doing this new kind of
Asus thing,
Windows hybrid operating system, just so they can go, right, you can make it. Like, even if we don't in the future, at least we can have people that make consoles.
Yeah.
Because you've got the open source code for making these things. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting.
It's going to be there are some big changes ahead. In the next couple of years, we're going to find out what's going to happen with Xbox, with PlayStation, with its titles. Nintendo as well is about to reveal its handheld. Well, they've revealed it, but we're going to get more details on that. How does that survive in this space? Oh, they'll be fine, but will it even match the Nintendo Switch numbers? Lots of changes ahead in the gaming space. A lot of it's quite exciting. We're going to find out what's going to happen, but we'll see. Well, chat, thank you so much. Smash the like button if you're still here watching the things. Before we go, I will do the timestamps. I have a couple of videos coming out this week, but I will also upload on Spotify. And it's been a great show. It's been a good chat. Effortless talk with my friend Wandering Dutch, who is about to tell you where you can find a sexy face. No, that's my face. There you go.
You just swap places for a moment there, guys. You can find me everywhere at Wandering Dutch or Wandering Dutch X, Blue Sky, Twitter /X, YouTube, you name it. I'm kind of, as probably mentioned, I've kind of not so much took a step back from doing gaming stuff. I still do streams and still do podcasts, not as frequently as I used to do. But I'm also going into vlogging in terms of hiking vlogs and things like that as well, because I'm really enjoying doing that kind of thing. So I put those up. So if you're interested in seeing more kind of IRL vlog videos of climbing mountains, etc., then you can tune in and watch that stuff as well. Yes, I do the indie showcase every year. If you haven't seen my indie showcases before, you can check the previous one out on the channel. You can see what it's all about. Usually get the likes of Aaron Greenberg or someone on, and a multitude of developers or content creators on to show off new games, which is always good. Then of course our weekly podcast, which is on a Thursday, both the Midweek Mix-Up and World of Gaming. So that's where you can find me.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely check it out. I'm playing one of his 2024 indie showcase videos now. This is the announcement trailer. So much work gets into it. This is such a great thing. I can't wait to for it to come back in 2025, because like we talked about, oh my god, what the hell is that? Bruv, this just looks like indie. This is a crazy thing, isn't it? It's just, I remember when indie was just like pixel junk, and now it's just everything. So yeah, please do check out Wandering Dutch's stuff. It's linked in the chat. in the description below. Smash the like button, share out the things, and we will see you very soon. Thank you for everything. Take care, and I'll see you on the channel. Peace. Safe.